has an 8-point advantage. You have the best player in the state in Class 2A taking the snap. The two-time defending champions have the last say about it. Here's the pass, and it's going to be a tackle by Grady Gebhardt in the middle of the field, and Southeast of Saline has won. The Trojans have won this game. They scored 2 touchdowns in less than 2 minutes to go. 1:50 remaining on the clock. Southeast of Saline might have been written off. They were down by 8 points, 28-20, but Southeast of Saline scores the last 16 points in this game, and the Trojans win their second state title in school history, and they win it 36-28.
This is Countdown to Kickoff for Southeast of Saline Trojan football on KINA Sports. Coming up, you'll get a preview of area games, analysis on tonight's matchups, and hear from the coach. Now, let's head to the stadium. Countdown to Kickoff starts now on KINA and worldwide on Salina Post.
Last week, Southeast of Saline was able to get by a familiar foe on their way to a state title game. Now the Trojans have a chance to defend the title they earned just 1 year ago, and they will do it against another familiar team here in the state title game, the Nemaha Central Thunder. Good morning and welcome in to Gowan Stadium on the campus of Hutch Community College. My name is Devin Haney. I'll have play-by-play of today's contest along with Tyler Smith in the booth. Also, Nick Garst and Chris Cadle producing and engineering back at the KINA studios in Salina. Brian Dennett providing live stream video that's free of charge today, brought to you by Abilene Termite and Pest Control. Southeast of Saline last week, 22-12 over the Hoisington Cardinals. It's the second consecutive season Southeast of Saline got by the Cardinals deep in the playoffs. Now Southeast of Saline's winning streak rests at 25 games. They have a chance to extend that by one more game, and if they can do so, they will repeat as Class 2A state football champions. When they look across the field today, they will see a team that has just repeated here in the not-so-distant past in the Nemaha Central Thunder. This is the 4th consecutive year the Thunder have been here at the state title game in Hutchinson. They won it 2 years ago and 3 years ago. Last year, of course, Southeast of Saline would get that honor. Now it's the Trojans that will try to repeat here today. It should be a great contest here today between Nemaha Central and Southeast of Saline to conclude the 2025 football season, and we have a lot to talk about. When we come back in segment 3, I'll sit down with Mitch Gebhardt in our pregame segment. We'll see what the Trojans have been up to in this holiday week leading up to a state title game. Coming up next, we'll go behind enemy lines. It's brought to you by Lily Pad Septic Service. Tyler Henry had a chance to visit with Nemaha Central head coach Michael Gladik. That's all coming up. Countdown to kickoff for Trojan State Championship football is here. Open enrollment is also going on. A few more days left on that, and you may have people calling, even knocking on your door that you don't know who they are. Contact the experts at L&L Advisors. They are local and they are friendly. It's the guys you know and the gals you know at L&L Advisors. Lean on them for any kind of advice with open enrollment when it comes to Medicare. Also, the broadcast today brought to you by Kansas Bankers Technologies, powering secure, compliant IT for your bank. Also, by Technical Consulting, your community solution for improving your technical life, IT landscape with expertise and care. This radio broadcast and video stream today also brought to you in part by the Kansas State High School Activities Association. They conduct official rules meetings, training clinics, and workshops throughout the state with a view towards providing a sound educational experience for all athletes. For more information on becoming an official in any sport, contact the Kansas State High School Activities Association. This is a public service message from KSHA and KINA and the Salina Post. Back with more pregame Behind Enemy Lines is next, coming up here worldwide on Salina Post and locally on KINA.
It's the most wonderful time of the year to finish your holiday shopping and save big. Enjoy 20% off all in-stock jewelry all season long. Excludes loose diamonds, repairs, and special orders. And when you buy gifts at Vernon Jewelers for your loved ones, we'll take care of you with a free vacation. That's right. Make a qualifying purchase and take a vacation on us. See us in store or the Vernon Jewelers Facebook page for full details. Hurry in. Holiday savings ends December 24th. Vernon Jewelers in downtown Salina, where sparkle happens since 1884.
Can-Equip's annual twine and net wrap sales event is on now. Save with preseason pricing on genuine C&H twine for round balers and square balers, small or large. Choose from a variety of proven net wrap like Armor Net, Legacy, Bale Keeper, American Net, and Varsity Net. Maximum length and maximum strength for the performance you expect. See your parts professional for select rebates and ordering at Can-Equip in Solomon.
For 40 years, Phillips Seed has delivered top-quality certified seeds. With wheat drilling season approaching, now's the time to reach out to Phillips Seed Farms for the latest variety options and tailored seed treatments. It's also the perfect opportunity to plant your corn hybrids and soybean varieties for the 2025 planting season. Visit PhillipsSeed.com. Follow us on Facebook and X, or connect with a local seed dealer near you. Phillips Seed, serving, innovating, growing since 1985.
The recent storm could have done a real number on your roof, but how would you know? Is your home vulnerable to future damage? Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing today. An in-person roof inspection is necessary to evaluate damage. Rely on Bryson to perform a free roof assessment. Inspect, assess, and resolve. Protect your home and make sure your insurance policy provides the coverage you deserve. Roofs, windows, siding, and gutters on your home or business. Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing, always supporting the southeast of Saline Trojans.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football.
Back here on the L&L Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show, I'm Tyler Henry, and it's time now for us to go behind enemy lines, presented by LilyPad Septic. We are joined by Michael Gladik, head coach of Nemaha Central. And Coach, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us again here today.
Hey, appreciate you for having on. Should be an awesome game here.
It certainly should. Well, and you've got a program, right? 7 straight winning seasons, 4 state title appearances, 3 state championships. I know anybody can look in the trophy case and see the success this program has had, but, from a program standpoint, what has it taken to build this?
It starts with the community buy-in. I took this job over 5 years. Coach Sides before me did a phenomenal job of kind of starting the football booster club and getting the community buy-in.
Do you remember last Christmas at the Miller's house?
I'll always remember that day as the Christmas club. 4 kids, 5 cousins, 2 grandparents, and somebody flushed at Christmas.
I knew that was going to be a good class.
Do you remember last Christmas at the Miller's house?
I'll always remember that day as the Christmas clog. 4 kids, 5 cousins, 2 grandparents, and somebody flushed a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, and they had matching pajamas.
And matching plungers.
Their septic tank hadn't been pumped out in over 6 years.
And they were making chili for 20.
That's when you transformed.
The freakishly fast frog!
Too much water, too much pressure, and Christmas joy was about to explode.
That's why we're telling folks now.
Get your septic tank inspected before Santa slides down your chimney.
And before Aunt Jan fires up her 7-layer bean dip.
At LilyPad Septic, we guarantee to inspect your system within 24 hours.
Or you get a free pump out worth $399.
If you need a flush and a rush, call LilyPad Septic.
LilyPadSeptic.com.
Don't let your septic tank clog up your Christmas.
Call LilyPad Septic.
Back here on the L&L Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show, I'm Tyler Henry, and it's time now for us to go behind enemy lines, presented by LilyPad Septic. We are joined by Michael Gladik, head coach of Nemaha Central. And Coach, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us again here today.
Hey, appreciate you for having on. Should be an awesome game here.
It certainly should. Well, and you've got a program, right? 7 straight winning seasons, 4 state title appearances, 3 state championships. I know anybody can look in the trophy case and see the success this program has had, but, from a program standpoint, what has it taken to build this?
It starts with the community buy-in. I took this job over 5 years. Coach Sides before me did a phenomenal job of kind of starting the football booster club.
Back here on the L&L Advisors Countdown to Kickoff show, I'm Tyler Henry, and it's time now for us to go behind enemy lines, presented by LilyPad Septic. We are joined by Michael Gladik, head coach of Nemaha Central. And Coach, first and foremost, thank you so much for joining us again here today.
Hey, appreciate you for having on. Should be an awesome game here.
It certainly should. Well, and you've got a program, right? 7 straight winning seasons, 4 state title appearances, 3 state championships. I know anybody can look in the trophy case and see the success this program has had, but, from a program standpoint, what has it taken to build this?
It starts with the community buy-in. I took this job over 5 years. Coach Sides before me did a phenomenal job of kind of starting the football booster club and getting the community buy-in. It starts with the parents, having them coachable kids, and then this senior class has been unbelievable. They were 8th graders when I came in. I knew there was going to be a good class. And they've just continued to get better. The guys before them kind of laid that foundation, set the tone on practice, being 1% better, on Friday nights being 1-0, every week. So I'm just really excited for these seniors, that they put a really good career together. Hopefully we can top it off, today against Southeast Saline. But I'm just so happy for these kids. And then the coaching staff, I've been I've been a part of some coaching staffs where every year we've got to make moves, but this coaching staff has been pretty dang solid since I got here. Phenomenal coaches, but even better men in the program.
Well, and like you said, consistency is key, and that's been kind of a roster thing for you this year too, right? You didn't graduate many seniors last season. This is a group that many, I think, rightfully saw as favorites to potentially win state this year. Was the mission from these guys from day one always to get back here?
Oh, yeah. We took a heartbreaking loss last year against Southeast, and Coach Gart made some changes at halftime and, executed little things down the stretch, and we didn't. And, these kids, started the June 3rd, whenever the first day of summer workouts was, we got to get back there and we got to get some revenge because we knew Southeast was going to be loaded again. And then, on the East, Osage, they had a really good senior class also, so it was a tough road to get here, but we're excited to, face Southeast today.
Well, and here you are, right? Your team is 13-0. You fought with hard wins over Sabetha and Osage City to get here. Overall, what would you say has been the best thing you've seen out of your guys this season?
I would say battling through adversity and being relentless, just finding ways to win. Just kind of, we chatted before the call here. This road has probably been the toughest of the 4 years here, with a really good Council Grove team. And we saw Sabetha for the second time, escaped a 2-point win, and then a 1-point win. And then, we see Osage, who's absolutely loaded with talent, even without their quarterback, and a 3-point win, where our defense gets a stop late in the game to secure it, and then just, fighting for a brother, Danny Childress, our 2-way starter, all league, all state kid, went down week 2 with a brain cancer tumor, and he's doing really, really good. And these kids have just went through a ton. They already go through a ton being a teenage boy, but just had this, and then a tough football season, and then so we're just extremely excited to be here. So hopefully we can take care of business here.
Somehow, some way, Carter Hike has gotten even better this year. 51 touchdowns, over 3,000 scrimmage yards on the season. How have you seen him work to kind of take his game to the next level?
His offseason, he takes care of his body. I remember during the summer, he said, it took 4 or 5 weeks last year to kind of get more wiggle to him, more shiftiness to him. So he kind of honed in on that this offseason, this summer, dropped a few pounds just to be more elusive, and he takes the offseason serious. He knows that he's going to carry the ball, a lot. And, to be that kind of bruiser running back, you got to be in shape. You got to be able to take hits. You got to be smart about your body, what you put in, and then obviously what you get out of it. But, he's going to be the first one to credit his teammates. He can't do this alone. The big boys up front, and then the skills, the first time in 4 years, his coaches have really hone in on the skills, on the blocking, because you never know in November. Playoff football is you probably not going to be able to pass the ball a whole lot just with the weather, so the skills got to be able to block, and these kids have done a tremendous job, blocking for Carter or blocking for another running back. So it's exciting to see there.
This ends up being a rematch of last year's state title game. Is there a part of you and a part of this team that's glad it's southeast of Saline, and does this feel like a revenge game to you guys at all?
Well, we know what we're going to get. We're going to get a really, really, really well-coached football team. They hone in on the fundamentals. They do the little things right. They're going to go to halftime, make adjustments, just like we are. And, obviously we got to stop Gebhardt. It's crazy. Osage had lost a quarterback. I believe it was the same night that game that went down, to the best quarterbacks that I've ever seen in 2A, let alone all classes. But, but the Petoskey kids has stepped in and had done a tremendous job. The skills are really good, extremely well blockers, and they got the best D-line, O-lineman in the state with the Chambers kid. So I would say as a staff, we know what we're going to get. Now we just got to execute the game plan.
Carter Hike and Grady Gebhardt are two guys that, man, I'm sure, as opposing coaches, it's just how do we stop that kid? Even if it's just a matter of slowing him down, what do you feel like you have to do against an athlete of Grady's caliber to just prevent him from breaking those big plays?
Yeah, it's funny that you say that. Did another interview Sunday, and what the guy said. It's kind of two defensive game plans that are similar. They're going to prepare to stop Carter, and then we're obviously preparing to stop Grady. But I told the boys Monday, we're not going to stop him. We just have to slow him down, just like you said. We got to bottle him up. He's extremely good for a reason. He works his tail off. He's not going to impress you, on his height, but the dude can run extremely hard. He breaks tackles. I think one Hoisington play was almost a TFL, and all of a sudden he breaks it and bounces off 4 tackles and gets a huge first down for him. The good thing about Grady is, as the game goes on, he's tough runner, in the fourth quarter. He's smart. He doesn't take a whole lot of shots. He protects his body. So,
that hasn't given up any second half points this postseason. I'm fully expecting that trend to end this week, but how do you move a ball effectively against a defense of this caliber?
Oh yeah, like I said, the coaching staff does a great job over there of doing the little things right, coaching technique. They're the bend but don't break mentality. Like I said, Hoisington, drove on them, inside the 30s, but they couldn't put it in the end zone. So that's hats off to the Trojan defense there, of making a stone wall in the red zone, and that's what we got to do. We got to convert, those third down and shorts, fourth down and shorts. We got to continue moving the sticks. It's not going to be easy because they are the fast flowing defense. Just like last year, and it's what we see on film. They make plays, and they're going to make you drop the ball.
Well, and last thing for you here, Coach. Overall, when you kind of break it all down into the finer points, what are the biggest keys to the game here? What does Nemaha Central have to do to get back on top of 2A and hoist the trophy at the end of the year?
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. Both teams are extremely good, and that's for a reason. They've had a great path. Be some really good caliber teams. Now we just got to put the game plan together and go execute. But we got to hone down the penalties and the turnovers. Offensively, we can't kill ourselves. We can't have too many negative plays. Defensively, we got to stop Gebhardt. We got to stop him. Obviously, we got to honor everybody else, but we have to hone in on Gebhardt and make him drive the ball all the way down the field instead of the big play ability that he loves and he's really, really good at. So, it should be an exciting game today and a really good atmosphere.
Looking forward to it. Well, Coach, thank you again so much for your time, and best of luck to your Thunder this afternoon.
I appreciate it, man. Thanks.
Once again, that was Nemaha Central head coach Michael Gladik joining us for Behind the Enemy Lines. We will step away, but when we come back, the LNL Advisors Countdown to Kickoff rolls on right here on KINA.
This is Jeff with Vanderbilt's in Salina. We have added Brunt boots to our large selection of work boots. The boots you've seen all over social media. Now you can come into Vanderbilt's and choose between 16 styles of Brunt's most popular boots. We have soft toe and safety toe. Whether you are a contractor, farmer, rancher, or work in one of the local factories, Brunt has a style for you. You can find Brunt at Vanderbilt's in Salina.
Work boots and Vanderbilt. You're listening to Trojan Football.
Back here on Countdown to Kickoff, getting ready for Southeast of Saline Trojan football. It's week number 13, which is fun to say as we sit down here in pregame with Southeast of Saline head coach Mitch Gebhardt. It's brought to you by Frisbee Construction. And boy, Coach, here we are again. It doesn't seem like a full year, let alone a full football season has flown by. But back here a day later than what we were last year. Now on Saturday, last year's championship game was on Friday. And boy, time flies. And what a great season this has been for Trojan football.
Yeah, I can't believe we're a year away from winning the state championship last year. It's amazing how fast things go. This football season's just flown by, and it's been great.
Let's look at the game last week, the pass to get here, so to speak, against the Hoisington Cardinals. 22-12, the final score here. You're able to get the win. And first off, one thing that just kind of popped up in conversation with Tyler Henry this week was Southeast of Saline hasn't given up any points in the second half the entire playoff run thus far. That's a rarity in itself, but I think it also speaks to what I've been saying all year, is we don't talk about the defense enough, and they are doing an extremely good job. Just that anomaly alone, and talk about their performance against Hoisington last Friday.
Well, I thought they played outstanding against Hoisington. Hoisington's a darn good football team. They're coached well. And for us to not let them score in the second half, honestly, when I went at halftime and it was 22-12, I didn't think 22 points would be enough to win the football game. So, hats off to them. Coach Potacek and all the rest of the coaching staff gets those guys ready, to play on Friday nights or Saturdays, whenever it is. And, they did an outstanding job of holding Hoisington down. Keep them out of the end zone there a couple times when they got inside the red zone was big. And I thought we got a lot of people to the football and played good team defense, especially in the second half.
You and I talked a lot about tempo coming into this game, and offensively, it just kind of felt like, especially in the second half, when you had the lead, it was just kind of a grinded-out type of game. You held their defense on the field. You're able to keep the chains moving and keep the time of possession in your favor. Was that by design coming in, or is that something that just developed as the game went on?
I really believe that developed as the game went on. We realized we had that 22-12 lead, and that's a good score to have there. In the second half of a playoff game. I told the boys that you only got to win by 1 point. So, we did grind it out. Obviously, we were always trying to get in the end zone, but being able to take time off the clock and limit their possessions in the second half was a big deal. It kept our defense off a little bit, and then those guys were ready to go and play defense when they needed to.
The most important thing of our three-pronged conversation to start out here talking about the Hoisington game is special teams. And, boy, they were special for you on Friday night. First of all, you get the loose ball on the first punt of the game when your offense stalled out. And then, of course, that Canyon Douglas kick return. What a way to end the first half and just grab all the momentum going into the locker room.
And they'd kind of got the momentum there. They scored, right before half was going to start, and when they kicked the ball off there, everybody saw Canyon kind of fumble the ball around and everything else, and then he took off, and when he broke free, I thought, well, we've got a pretty good shot here at scoring. So, but that was a huge play. That punt was also for us to be able to recover that punt there and get the ball back and then go in and score, and then for us to return a kickoff. Luckily, the last 2 weeks in the playoffs, we hadn't had one all year, and those are huge.
Yeah, absolutely. It led you to a 22-12 final score, 12th win of the season. Also gives you a pass to come back here to Hutchinson and defend your title against a familiar foe in Nemaha Central. How's your week gone for you? A little bit of a weird week. It's a short week that's kind of diced up with a holiday in there. How's everything going?
It's been going great. Nothing better than practicing football over Thanksgiving weekend. So kids were excited. We've had a good week of practice.
Yeah, you're blessed to do this, right? There's only 18 teams that get to do this, and I've had those questions too. It's like, boy, during Thanksgiving, is that taking up a lot of your time? And I happily say, yes, it is, and I appreciate it. And I'm sure you guys feel the same way, right?
100%. Our kids are all in on this deal, and we knew that going into this that there was a possibility that we were going to get to practice during Thanksgiving week, and the guys that have been through it understand that this is what we need to do and kind of schedule things around it, and the younger guys are following their lead. So it's been a great week.
Creatures of habit and creatures of routine. Last year it wasn't a big deal because it was a Friday night game. It just felt kind of normal to be there at that point. But now we come in here and it's a Saturday at noon. How much does that kind of throw you off your routines a little bit?
During the week, we kind of try to keep things as close as possible. We'd practice at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock, and we try to keep things as close as possible. But obviously, the Saturday is different. So, but we try to keep that kind of the same too. And it's been a while since we've been on a bus. So, we're doing that also. So we'll see how it all plays out, but we feel real comfortable about it.
Your opponent here today is an opponent that's a familiar one to football fans just around the state of Kansas. Nemaha Central coming in. They're going to compete in their 4th consecutive state title game. Of course, they had the 2 titles before Southeast of Saline got their title against them a year ago. This is it's a little bit of an anomaly. You and I were talking off the air, and you have programs that might meet and have a rematch every now and then. It's not that normal that you would think, but here we are in a rematch. But not only that, you look at the numbers, a lot of the charts stayed the same from last year. There's a few seniors that have graduated on both sides, but when you look at the bulk of the players, these are the same guys that competed last year, isn't it?
Yeah, it really is, and we noticed that, preparing for them last year also, that they had a lot of sophomores and juniors that were playing, with also a good group of seniors that they graduated. But we were kind of in the same boat, and we didn't, you never know what's going to happen or anything else, but we knew that there was a realistic situation that this could happen again. And what an exciting deal for those 2 groups of kids to be able to be favored at going most of the season, and then be able to play in the state championship game again.
What do you see when you look at Nemaha Central? And I think we all know the story. It's Carter Hike. He's kind of the leader. He does everything on offense. He's not playing a lot on defense this year. But I think the biggest difference, I would ask you, Coach, is what are the differences between this game last year and now this game this year?
Well, obviously they run a few more sets, and they've got more experienced guys, so that's a big deal also. And they do get the ball to other guys this year, maybe more so than even last year. So they've got athletes all over the field. Those guys are experienced. Obviously, like you said, this is their fourth year to play in the state championship game. So some of these guys have been around this state championship game for 4 years. So experience and just knowledge of what goes on and those type of things. Carter Hike is a outstanding football player, but he's got a whole lot of guys that go with him. And their coaching staff, on top of all that. Their coaching staff, obviously, to get to this game this many times, do a wonderful job with them, and it should be a good matchup for us.
I'm sure the film was going fast and furious, and one of those games was probably this game, the rematch of it here today. But I'm sure you flash back to the game a year ago. Boy, what a crazy game, right? 20-20 with less than 2 minutes left in the game. And a lot of things happened in the last 2 minutes. What do you remember most about that game?
Well, I think one of the first things that I remember is that we were ahead 20-7 at halftime. And, we were kind of, if you want to say, in the driver's seat in the state championship game, but we were. And we had some mistakes happen and everything else, and they played well. Our defense was out on the field a lot in the third and fourth quarter, gave up some points, and, they actually took the lead. But we had a really good fast and furious about 1 minute and 45 seconds and ended up winning the football game. So it was neat for me to go back and watch that game. I watched it a couple times after the season was over last year, but it was neat to get to go back and watch that game and relive some of the things that happened.
One difference of this game that we haven't been able to say so far this year is win or lose, this will be your last football game of the 2025 season. What are your keys to success here against a Nemaha Central team that you guys should be pretty familiar with each other, even though you haven't met a whole lot? What are your keys to success here today?
We've got to make sure and take care of the football. If we can keep their offense off the field, offensively, I think that's a big deal. Get first downs, move the football, and obviously we want to score at the end of those. But get some good long drives in and take some time off the clock. Defensively, we got to get a lot of hats to wherever the football is. We know the Hike kid's going to get the ball a lot, and we got to make sure and tackle him. He's a strong kid. But we also got to make sure we eliminate some big plays that maybe they hit on us last year. Special teams, again, and we all know as this season progresses.
Long MacArthur Performance Trucks, it does not include the Raptor, though. Over 100 trucks, and you're getting ready to see the trucks pop up in the field just to the side of Long MacArthur Ford. A great selection, and you can save big money on financing right now at Long MacArthur Ford. Not only great financing deals, but also trucks discounted a big number as well. Now's the time to buy a brand new F-150 at Long MacArthur Ford. Countdown to Kickoff is brought to you by L&L Advisors. The start of this one is right around the corner, worldwide on Salina Post and locally right here on KINA.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Hey, Salina, come see us at the Kelly Kitchener Agency near the intersection of Cloud and Ohio. We want to be your Salina, Kansas insurance agent.
Mary Maids in Salina offers house cleaning services you can see and feel. Your home is more than just a house. It's where memories are made and moments are cherished. Though life can be complicated, house cleaning shouldn't be. Mary Maids strives to take the stress out of your day so you can live your life your way. With more than 40 years experience and an advanced time-tested cleaning process, they can help you reclaim time with your loved ones. Find Mary Maids on Facebook or check out their website at marymaids.com.
Are you looking for a local brokerage firm to help you with your Medicare, life insurance, and annuities? L&L Advisors is the #1 local Medicare supplement and insurance specialist. Medicare can be confusing. Let the experts at L&L Advisors help make sense of it. Stop by one of 3 locations in Salina or McPherson and speak to an agent about the needs of your family. L&L Advisors, main office at 717 Roach right off Crawford and in the Central Mall Salina and downtown McPherson. Based on honesty and trust, contact L&L Advisors today.
This has been Countdown to Kickoff. The opening kick is right around the corner. It's about to get ugly. Back to the stadium we go for Trojan football on KINA Sports. You are listening to Southeast Trojan football.
Go back into Gowan Stadium on the campus of Hutchinson Community College, a shared facility here between Hutch Community College and Hutch High. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith here as we get ready for a state championship game and a rematch from a game a year ago. One of 3 state title rematches around the state of Kansas between yesterday and today. We'll get you all caught up on the schedule for today and the final scores from yesterday that went down across the state of Kansas when we check the Bennington State Bank scoreboard coming up here during the broadcast. Coin toss going on right now at midfield. We'll keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, we'll yield to Tyler Smith for our new Image Audio Keys to Success. Tyler, this is a big one. It's a rematch, right? These two teams very familiar with each other. Not only do you get a rematch, but most of the guys that were on the field last year return for this edition.
Devin, you're going to see 2 of the top players in the entire state of Kansas. You're going to see Carter Hike from Nemaha Central. The young man is the quarterback, but you hear Coach Gladik talk about him in interviews. He refers to him as a running back. In the last 3 games, the last 3 playoff games, Hike's carried the ball for 124 times. I mean, that's a clip. That's 42% of his entire season carries in the last 3 games. He's going to carry the ball about 40 times this afternoon. Then it's Grady Gebhardt on the other side. And this is very generic, but in a game like this, you have to control the football. You can't just give away. There can't be any turnovers. The turnover battle is going to be the winner of this game, and you got to make sure you limit the big plays. You got to see there's going to be 2 different tempos here. You're going to see Southeast get to the ball. They want to go as they always want to. You're going to see Nemaha Central slow things down, play at their own pace and tempo. It's just going to be 2 conflicting styles, but what you're going to see today is 2 teams that respect the heck out of each other, players doing things the right way. Devin, this is going to be an exciting Saturday afternoon.
And a lot of purple, of course, as these 2 teams sport purple as their main color. One of the things they will have to deal with, though, I'll go ahead and insert this into your keys to the game as well, as dealing with the weather. The weather around Kansas right now is wild. I understand snow falling in Manhattan right now. We drove through a little bit of snow in McPherson County on our way down here. But right now, our game conditions in Hutchinson, when you look around the state of Kansas, not that bad. The Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance tells us that our game conditions mostly cloudy, 33 degrees. It will warm up just a bit. That's opposite from what the forecast said last night. It had the cooling trend as noon hit. Now it's going to warm up about 5 degrees. About 38 degrees from 33 degrees here at kickoff. Biggest thing, though, is the wind, right? Northwest wind blowing 25 to 30 miles an hour. The American flag, you saw it during the anthem, blowing straight across the field. It will start out at southeast of Saline's back and blowing to the far corner as you view live stream video on SalinaPost.com. That's presented by Abilene Termite and Pest Control and Bennington State Bank. Adam Teal will get things underway. As he puts his hand in the air, southeast of Saline will kick off wearing their all-white uniforms, purple helmet, and the reception being taken by Nemaha Central back at the 16-yard line. Here's an angle to the left, to the 30, now looking back inside, bounces it out to the 40. Look out! Nemaha Central might begin this game with a touchdown. There's a flag on the field, maybe, and it's going to go all the way to the end zone.
Devin, I believe that's a kicking tee.
Yeah, so much debris on the field. There's leaves and all kinds of stuff. That is a kicking tee. And Nemaha Central got it to the outside, to the left-hand side over here, able to take that. Jack Mackey all the way to the end zone. The senior breaks the game open with a special teams touchdown.
Well, Mackey with the touchdown, but it's the block by Carter Hike that springs that. There was no outside leverage from southeast of Saline. Too easy. Nemaha Central, Mackey just goes untouched to the end zone with the 80-yard touchdown kickoff return to start this game.
So Mackey will have the touchdown to open the game. This game had a bunch of special teams highlights last year. I don't expect that will be the last one we see. On for the extra point, Levi Thomas will put the extra point attempt up into that big stiff wind, and that ball just hits a wall of wind, but the wall was past the goalpost. Maybe the lean on those goalposts helped out a little bit there, and Levi Thomas gets the extra point. He is now 52 of 57 kicking extra points this season. 84 yards on the kick return unofficially by Jack Mackey, and boy, if you're southeast of Saline, Tyler, that's not the way you wanted to start this game, but as we saw this game a year ago, it's going to have a bunch of ebbs and flows, and it's going to take turns and turns. Going back watching that game from a year ago with these two teams, it was 20-20 with less than 2 minutes left. Ended up being 36-28.
Yeah, this is going to be a game you can't hang your head for very long, because if you hang your head, you're going to see a team get out in front, continue to fight. We've seen that from both teams, and we've seen that throughout the season. Both teams tested very well in the state semifinals last week. This Nemaha Central team, 3 tight games to get to where they are. We saw the road a little bit easier for Southeast Saline. They took care of business a little bit more, but that big win against Hoisington, there were some times that, they were tested as well. So it's just going to be a time you can't look at the score until the game is over. You just got to keep playing the entire game.
Special thanks to people making this happen, not only on KINA, but also live stream video on SalinaPost.com, Abilene Termite and Pest Control, Isaacson Truckline, and Bennington State Bank. Here's the kickoff for Nemaha Central. That thing's going to go way up and just die in the wind. Underneath it is freezing as he camps out, and he will fall down at the 41-yard line. That is where Southeast of Saline will start on the first drive of the game. Time now to meet your Trojan starters, brought to you by Jeff Wells and the American Family Agency. It is Tiernan Potacek, the junior quarterback, coming out leading this Trojan offense. With him in the backfield will be Grady Gebhardt, Caden Berrigan, Bryson Lippold, Malachi Hopkins, Tyler Bramblett, Larry Lilly, Kenyon Douglas will be an assortment of wide receivers for Southeast of Saline. First down and 10 will finish out the offensive line after this first down play for Southeast. 3 wide receivers. They pitch it out. Gebhardt, left-hand side. He's going to be arrested in the backfield for a 2-yard loss. Backwards to the 39 after a loss of 2. Now let's meet your starting offensive line. Tristan Swank on left tackle, Drew Weller left guard. Your centers, Killian Vaughn, Brody Chambers a right guard, and Garrett Kuhn your right tackle. Those are the offensive starters for Southeast of Saline. Brought to you by the Jeff Wells Agency of American Family Insurance in Salina.
And Devin, just a great play from Brady Cook outside. That toss was coming right at him. Shields off an offensive lineman and makes a good tackle on Gebhardt, which isn't an easy thing to do.
Second down and 12, back to Gebhardt, and Nemaha Central, the Thunder all over him as they're going to tackle him for another yard loss back to the 38-yard line. 2 carries for Gebhardt and a net yardage of -3 yards.
Yeah, tough sledding so far. And this is, you kind of expect this. You're just kind of feeling things out right here. We've seen Grady get off to huge starts to start off games. A little tougher sledding right now against this 3-5-3 that we see Nemaha Central run.
1 receiver to the right, 3 to the left for Tiernan Potacek. 3rd down and 13. Potacek rolling out behind Gebhardt. He's going to pass it. It's a little too tall. Trying to go for Kenyon Douglas, who was right at the sticks, right at midfield. It looks like Southeast of Saline is facing a 3-and-out on their first offensive possession of the game. Mirroring a little bit what happened last week to Hoisington. They came out, went 3-and-out, had to punt the football. Then Hoisington fumbled and had a bad exchange on the return. Southeast ended up with it, and then 2 plays later they were in the end zone. Teal will come out, he will punt. Larry Kalili will be the long snapper for Southeast of Saline.
And any benefit, at least you have the wind behind your back punting to help you out going this direction.
Snap back. Teal has to take it off the turf. Now he's going to put his foot into it. The wind will carry it. It will go inside the 25-yard line to the 24. Here's a return by Strothman. Put his head down in a crowd. Now he gets free. Strothman down the right-hand sideline. He's looking for blocks. Gets a couple of blocks. Garrett Kuhn will wrap his arms around him, but can't bring him down. Strothman now is going to go all the way down inside the 20 to the 10, and he's going to walk it into the end zone. 2 special teams touchdowns by Nemaha Central, and they are on the board. Early and often, Caleb Strothman, the senior, with the punt return that time.
Yeah, and Strothman broke numerous tackles. Tyson Keller had a chance early on at him. Garrett Kuhn later on. I mean, just multiple Southeast defenders, and it's just a wall of thunder just leading the way. Make touchdown, just a punt return. And we talked about special teams. This is something that, we've seen Southeast have success, during their playoff run. This is, it's a tough start for Southeast right now.
Extra point will be attempted again here by Levi Thomas as he comes out. And again, I cannot stress enough, that last kick that he had, it hit a wall of wind right as it went through the upright. Fortunately, did not get blown back through. Yes, the wind is that strong here in Hutchinson today. Waiting on the snap. Thomas the holder, Thomas the kicker. And he'll put the football up, this time with a little more behind it. And it's 14-0, Nemaha Central. 10:13 left to go. We're just underway first quarter. It's been 2 Thunder special teams touchdowns. We'll take a 30-second break. Be back with more state football with Southeast of Saline here on KINA.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football.
Back here in Hutchinson, Gowan Stadium, a full schedule of state football today. This just one of those games. Southeast of Salina, Nemaha Central. So far, Nemaha Central with a big lead on 2 special teams touchdowns, a kick return and a punt return for a touchdown, 84 and 76 yards. Now it looks like they're going to use a holder for the kickoff here. Wind blowing right in the face of Nemaha Central. Here's the kick. And it's going to be covered up. It was a dribbler at the 33, 34-yard line. Southeast of Saline will come out and start their offense again. Second drive of the game. Obviously, Tyler, a lot of bullets flying at you right now. If you're Southeast of Saline, you find yourself in the biggest hole you've been in so far this season. Still early, though. How do you keep your composure here if you're Southeast on offense?
Well, right now, it's feed Gebhardt. It's find Chambers, get behind Chambers. You just got to rely on what got you here. Everything's fine. You're good. You're exactly right. Bullets are flying, but when bullets are flying, give the ball to Gebhardt and see what he can do.
Tiernan Potocik looking over to the left, has 3 wide receivers on the right-hand side. Southeast of Saline coming out. They're going to start this drive at the 34-yard line. Shotgun formation. Little fake here to Gebhardt. Slant. It's going to be way behind Malachi Hopkins at the first down sticks. Incomplete pass. Southeast of Saline 0 for 2 on their last 2 passing plays here to start this game.
Yeah, it looked like an RPO right there. So Tiernan's, he's putting the ball in Gebhardt's belly. He saw that backer come, so all of a sudden tries to go to Hopkins. Ball's tipped at the line of scrimmage. It's a great defensive play from Nemaha Central. And an interesting thing right now, Carter Hike not playing defense. We'll see him play at times. Oh, I take that back. It looks like he's back at safety.
Here's the end-around play. Amarion Holub has it. He runs into a wall at the 35-yard line. It will go as a gain of 1 on Amarion Holub's first carry of the day. Holub has been instrumental big time on offense and defense for Southeast of Saline. He's a threat in the offense to carry and catch the ball. He has totaled 561 yards of offense with 5 touchdowns this year, kind of being that Swiss Army knife on offense. Southeast of Saline with a 3rd down and 9. Football sitting at their own 35-yard line. Another crucial down here for the Trojans early on. 3 wide receivers, left-hand side. They go with a total of 5. Potocik rolling around, trying to get away from Thunder. Now he's going to throw it, and it's going to be dropped. Caden Berrigan at the 46-yard line. Would have had the first down by about a yard, and that football came out, and it's incomplete for Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, Potocik did a good job climbing up in that pocket. He found some clear space, threw that ball right on the money. KB just hit the chest, hit the hands, and bounces off. That's when you've got to convert that 3rd down.
Adam Teal back on here in punt formation. Back deep. Once again for Nemaha Central, Caleb Strothman. Looks like he also has back with him Carter Stahlbaumer. Those are the football right at the 35. The football started rolling away a little bit. They're going to bring it back and put it in a spot where Lyric Lilly can reach down, grab it, and snap it back to Teal. 4th and 9 in punt formation, Southeast. Knee-high snap. Teal puts his foot into it again. It's going to take a bounce at the 35. Now a big Southeast of Saline bounce as the Trojans are chasing it, letting it roll. Jaden Kloster back there to supervise it, along with Tyson Keller and James Friesen. And it's going to come to rest inside the 15 at the 14-yard line. So the first time we'll see Nemaha Central's offense and quarterback Carter Hike on the field. Let's meet your Trojan defense, brought to you by the Salina Fence Company. Up front, Bryson Lippold, Drew Weller, Tristan Swank, Brody Chambers. Your corners, Caden Berrigan, along with Malachi Hopkins. The linebackers, Amarion Holub, Killian Vaughn, Kenyon Douglas, Grady Gebhardt. The safety is Tiernan Potocik. Those are your Trojan defensive starters, brought to you by Salina Fence Company. First down for Nemaha Central. First time we're seeing Carter Hike, and Jaden Seitz will be one of the running backs starting out in the backfield with him. Here's a pass out to the right-hand side. This thing's going to go way up into the air, and it's going to be caught by Leighton Thomas. Thomas will catch that. That thing almost had a punt feel to it, Tyler.
Yeah, it did. It looked like immediately Hopkins wasn't over there. It was Nemaha Central wide receiver Leighton Thomas all by himself. Hike immediately saw that, tried to get the ball out there. The problem is it's extremely difficult throwing the ball when you're going this direction. Ball just got caught up in the wind. I think if Hopkins can locate that ball, he can make a play on it. Nevertheless, makes a play. It's for a limited gain for Nemaha Central.
Almost the element of surprise coming out and throwing like this, right? Here's the sweep to the right-hand side. This is going to be Strothman with the ball in his hands, and he will be ankle tackled out to about the 20-yard line after a gain of 1. I apologize. I said it was Jack Mackey on that opening kick return. That was Caleb Strothman as well, so he has a kick return and a punt return for a touchdown for the Thunder.
And you see right there, we've now seen 2 plays where Carter Hike has not ran the ball. I'm assuming 3rd and 4, you're going to watch him use his legs to try to get this first down.
From their own 20-yard line, 2 backs in the backfield. It is Hike. He puts his head down. He gets maybe a yard and a half, and that'll bring up 4th down for Nemaha Central. How gutsy are you feeling here if you're Nemaha Central? You came out, you got 2 special teams touchdowns. Now it's 4th and 2. You're buried deep in your own territory. Do they even entertain going for this here?
I think you do. This is what got you here. This is where it gets really tricky, and here's where the weather plays a huge factor. You got a big wind. Looks like they're going to send their punting unit. But defensively for Southeast, I think you still play this straight up. I mean, we saw them punting in pregame. There weren't many kicks going over 30 yards punting this direction. I say you play straight up defense and then get the heck out of the way when that ball hits the ground, because you don't know which way it's going to bounce today.
Yeah, they are going to punt right into this wind. If you look at it on live stream video, there's a brick building up to the upper right-hand corner. The wind is blowing right at that building. You can see the football now off that punt hit that wall of wind, and Southeast of Saline's defense is going to give their offense really good field position here, starting out at about the 48-yard line in Thunder territory. So Southeast of Saline's defense, first time they hit the field, they do a really good job. They only give up 3 yards on that first defensive possession. Now it's the offense that comes out, and they're going to have to get it going here. Tiernan Potocik and company, so far, they have not mustered up anything, so to speak, offensively.
And again, we saw that second drive, Grady Gebhardt did not touch the ball at all, and that's something that I think needs to change if the Southeast offense is going to get going.
First down and 10 here from the 48. Potocik turned, tried to give it to Gebhardt. He went to the other side. That's a busted play, and that's going to be a loss of 4 yards.
Yeah, we've seen that play a lot of times. You'll see the fake to that jet motion right there, then turn and give the ball to Gebhardt. I'm not sure which one went the wrong way, but definitely a broken play puts Southeast behind the chains.
From 148, go to the other side of the field to the other 48. It's a loss of 4 yards. Clock continuing to roll here, first quarter. 6:49 left to go here on the campus of Hutchinson Community College. 14-0, Nemaha Central. Second down and 14 now for Southeast of Saline. Here's the handoff to Grady Gebhardt. Gets to the line of scrimmage. Maybe got a yard, but no more. And it's been tough sledding for Grady Gebhardt in his first 3 carries.
Yeah, this defensive line from Nemaha Central is just playing very, very well. Hendricks Wall is just massive down there as a defensive guard, and it's a great matchup. It's big on big, but right now Wall's winning that battle.
Yeah, they play, as you said, a 3-5-3, so they have those 3 key defensive linemen, and boy, those ends are big, big linemen. Third down and 13, empty backfield. They snap it. Potocik, I don't know what's going on. Nobody moved there except for Tiernan Potocik, and he's going to have to throw it away as he was trying to get around 3 or 4 different Nemaha Central players. Nobody moved, though, on either line. That's tough to explain there, what we just saw.
Yeah, it seemed like the only person who knew the snap count or didn't know the snap count was the person snapping the ball. But nevertheless, you're just seeing it's a lot of mistakes that we don't see from Southeast Saline. Obviously it's a big game, it's everything, but once one bad thing happens, it seems like they're starting to snowball. You just need a positive play to get you going.
Leaves blowing across this field here as Southeast of Saline will punt from midfield. Adam Teal getting a workout in the punting game. He's going to kick this one. It's going to be fair caught back inside of the 15-yard line. So field position battle being won right now by Southeast of Saline, but on the board, it's Nemaha Central 14, Southeast of Saline 0. I want to thank Cale Sharp, Shelter Insurance on Broadway, on Beaumont. Also, Aeroplanes, Kansas Wesleyan University, Sage Products, also Sharp Performance, and Long MacArthur. 0% interest right now on Ford F-150s for 60 months at Long MacArthur Ford. Nemaha Central comes out. They go 1 wide receiver to the left-hand side. Now Carter Hike turns around. He's going to be switching people around. Nemaha Central starting out here from their own 14-yard line. Here's the snap. And Hike takes it off the left-hand side, and he will make it to the 19-yard line. Gain of 5 on the play, first down.
Devin, the relationship that Hike and Coach Gladik have, I mean, the play's called in, and then Hike has the ability. He's like a composer back there. He's Beethoven. He's Mozart. He's moving guys around. He sees where there's holes in the defense. He's making calls on the fly, and you're seeing him. He's going to run down that play clock. He's going to take as much of it as he can, but while he's doing that, he's just orchestrating the entire offensive line and the offensive backfield to do what he needs to open him up for a run, as you see him checking with Coach Gladik right now.
Everybody looking over the left-hand side. There is a slot back just to the left-hand side of the offensive line. 3 wide receivers past that. Hike wants to try that way. Trying the left-hand side, gets a crease, brushes off a Southeast of Saline defender, now has room. Another stiff arm in there, and Carter Hike drugged down from behind by Tristan Swank all the way out past the 40 and flirting with the 45-yard line.
And that's what he can do. He's just going to spread everybody out. So all of a sudden you're just trying to create, positive plays. They would rather have Carter Hike breaking tackles from a defensive back than they would a lineman. We can see he can do it both ways, but right there, if he gets outside and all of a sudden you have a cornerback trying to make a tackle on him, that's an advantageous spot for Nemaha Central and Carter Hike.
25 yards on 2nd down and 5, out to the 44-yard line. 1st down and 10 for the Thunder. Operating on the left hash again, full backfield, little play action run, little belly option that time by Hike, and he's going to plunge ahead for a gain of 3 on 1st down. It's interesting to me because watching a lot last week when Nemaha Central played Osage City, of course, it was much different field conditions. It was a mud hole at Seneca last week for Nemaha Central's home game. Almost every time he ran on that power run, it was off the right-hand side.
And it was right there, and you got to get the first guy's got to at least slow him up. He can't run. He's going to run through arm tackles. You just got to get a body on him, at least slow him up, and let the other purple hats come help you out.
2nd down and 7. For Nemaha Central. Inside 4 minutes left to go here in the first quarter. Hike will take it directly to the right-hand side. As I just spoke about that time, he's going to have a gain of 2 out to the 49. 5 carries unofficially, 37 yards for Carter Hike. And you look at his resume just in general, holy cow, man. Over 7,000 yards rushing, 7,678, 127 touchdowns in his high school career coming into this game. Almost 3,000 passing yards, 37 touchdowns in the year. You look at that, Tyler, that's a total 10,671 yards, 164 total touchdowns between rushing and passing.
It's just unbelievable.
3rd down and 5 here from their own 49-yard line. Strothman will go in motion. They'll put the ball in his hands. He wants to cut back, and he's chopped down at the line of scrimmage by Southeast of Saline. In there to make the tackle for the Trojans that time was Grady Gebhardt as he came in and chopped down Caleb Strothman, trying to sweep it to the right-hand side.
And here you have another interesting 4th down. Looks like they're going to put the punt team back out there. And again, I think when you're playing with the lead, this is the way you need to go about it. You just continue to punt the ball until Southeast shows that they can do something offensively. You're going to continue to play with this 14-point lead and just try to play this field position game, even though it's going to be really difficult with this wind.
So maybe forced into another punt formation here. If you look at the end zone that they're going to be punting at, the punt will not reach there. But at all of our end zones, all the pylons are on the ground. It's just exactly how windy it is at field level. And this punt will go up. It'll hit the wall of air that was set to take a big Southeast of Saline bounce, but Jackson Haverkamp was there to knock it down for Nemaha Central. Southeast of Saline will come out and take over at their own 40-yard line. Southeast needs to get it going here. So far, they have lost 5 yards on offense. They have not had any positive yardage so far. 2:21 left to go here in the first. I think you feel comfortable, Tyler, about your defense doing their job so far, but, boy, you got to get a score and start moving the ball.
You do, and you only have 2 minutes and 21 seconds left with this wind. So if you're going to throw the ball, you need to do it now.
Little screen play out to Gebhardt, letting too far out in front, and that one's going to be incomplete. 0 of 5 starting out here, passing the football for Southeast of Saline. 2:19 left to go here in the first quarter.
One linebacker, Camden Schmitz, just did a good job, flew right to it. Lippold tries to get a body on him, but with that, it could have distracted Gebhardt. There's all of a sudden more players there than are normal. He's used to catching that ball on the run. Good throw by Potacek, but I think just with Schmitz coming in, it just gets in the way enough to make that an incomplete pass.
2nd down and 10 after the incomplete pass. Potacek rolling out to the left, will rise up, throw again, has Malachi Hopkins, and it looks like a first down for Southeast of Saline. Across midfield to the 49, and catching the football there is Malachi Hopkins. It is a gain of 11 and a much-needed first down for Tiernan Potacek in this Southeast offense.
Yeah, I think now you can just have a sigh of relief, right? You got positive yardage. You got Potacek, nice throw, good completion. Now you get going.
That's Hopkins' 20th catch of the season. Potacek to throw again. Being chased by two Nemaha Central players, finds a Marion Hollab out in space at the 50. He's to the 40, runs over a Thunder player and gets out of bounds at the 35-yard line. A Marion Hollab that time just rolled right over a Nemaha Central defender. Jaden Seitz came up and tried to tackle him, but Hollab was having none of it and advances the ball to the 36-yard line.
And it's that backyard football, broken play type stuff. Patachik keeps his head up, scrambles around well in the pocket, comes out, finds Hollab. That's what you got to do. You got to do some off-balance stuff.
Gain of 13 that time. Here's Gebhardt, left-hand side. Has a crease, puts Nemaha Central on the spin cycle, and he falls down. Grady Gebhardt fell down. He was out in the open, looked like he was going to be in the end zone, and Grady Gebhardt fell down.
Well, with that spin move, we see the spin move, and it's Mackey that just shoestring tackles, touchdown-saving tackle right there from Mackey. And with the way this defense is playing, let's see how big that play ends up turning out to be.
26-yarder, nonetheless, for Grady Gebhardt. Now down to the 9. Back to Gebhardt. Stutter step inside the 5. Bulldozing over a Central defender and makes it all the way to the 4. Gain of 5 now for Grady Gebhardt on that play.
And now you're starting to see this offensive line get downhill. They're starting to get that surge, get that push. It's exactly what you need to happen if you're Southeast Saline offense.
Inside the Can-Equip Red Zone, the Case IH Red Zone, brought to you by Can-Equip in Solomon. 3 wide receivers, one of them in motion now. They'll fake the end around. Patachik will keep it. He'll surge ahead and get to the 2-yard line. They might stretch him here to the 3, and it will be a gain of just 1 yard by Tiernan Patachik that time.
And, Devin, this defense is so interesting. As you get down here, we talk about that 3-5-3, but these linebackers are just so athletic. They can still come down. They hit the gaps. They're everywhere. They're firing on all cylinders right now.
3rd down and goal from the 3. Southeast of Saline knocking on the door. Tight formation. They're going to give it to Gebhardt. Sweep off left-hand side. Chambers trying to lead the way, but there's just too many purple jerseys. Chambers didn't have a chance. Weller was already out in front. And Chambers had to deal with about 3 of those guys, as you said, from the linebacking core coming over late and flooding that side, and Southeast of Saline will lose 2 yards.
Well, and it's Carter Hike that makes first contact, and he's playing all over defensively. And you talked about this, at that 3-5-3, how these linebackers have so much. They can kind of do what they want. I mean, they can freelance a lot within the structure of their defense. We've seen him play safety. Right now he's an outside linebacker. He's just a ball hawk. He's watching a lot of film. He knows exactly where he needs to be.
And Southeast of Saline will use the quarter break to talk about what they want to do here on 4th down and goal from the 5. We'll switch sides and we'll switch wind when we come back. Southeast of Saline with a big play. It's coming up when we start the second quarter. After this, Southeast of Saline Trojan football brought to you by Abilene Termite and Pest Control.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free personal protection review, contact Shelter Agent Cale Sharp in Salina.
Kurt here from Abilene Termite and Pest Control. We can't control pests like that unemployed 25-year-old living in your basement, but the creepy crawly ones are our specialty. From Salina to Manhattan, Clay Center to Hillsboro, and everywhere in between. We've been locally owned and here for you since 1951, offering great service, a firm handshake, and no long-term contracts. Visit AbileneTermite.com or find us on Facebook. I'm Kurt Phillips, and we'll keep the bugs out for you.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Welcome back to Gallon Stadium in Hutchinson. Big play here to start the second quarter, sponsored by Assyria Oil and Hardware. Tiernan Patachik has Grady Gebhardt to his right. Play action on the end around. He wants to throw it now. Is being chased. 2 Nemaha Central players going at him. Tiernan Patachik's going to reverse field. Late throw, and it's up in the air. Malachi Hopkins. A late decision by Tiernan Patachik. Put the ball up in the air, and in the back of the end zone is Malachi Hopkins for the 4th time this season.
Devin, it's the defense that creates Patachik to have to get around. Everything was, again, that's a throw that's off schedule. It turns into backyard football. He keeps his head up. We saw Jacobson have success with that last year. It's easy to say, just do that every time, but you can't because it takes a special player like Patachik to keep his feet underneath him, keep his head up. Great play from the junior.
2-point conversions could be big. Here's the sweep. Marion Hollab looking for space. Weller out in front, but boy, those linebackers again just surging past everybody. And for Nemaha Central coming in, making that tackle is going to be one of the leaders on this team. It's Jaden Seitz who comes in and grabs a handful of shoelaces. But Southeast of Saline gets on the board. First first play of the second quarter. 11:50 left to go early on second period. It's the Thunder leading by 8. Back after this 30-second timeout on KINA.
This is Jeff with Vanderbilt in Salina. We have added Brunt boots to our large selection of work boots. The boots you've seen all over social media. Now you can come into Vanderbilt's and choose between 16 styles of Brunt's most popular boots. We have soft toe and safety toe. Whether you are a contractor, farmer, rancher, or work in one of the local factories, Brunt has a style for you. You can find Brunt at Vanderbilt in Salina.
Work boots and Vanderbilt. You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Southeast of Saline with a much-needed scoring drive as they go down the field, and they will score. It is a 60-yard drive for Southeast of Saline, capped by a Tiernan Potacek 5-yard touchdown pass to Malachi Hopkins. 2-point conversion failed, and Southeast of Saline back within 8. That scoring recap is brought to you by Dr. Andrew Westbrook. Maury Clinic Sports Medicine, Dr. Westbrook Sports Injury Walk-In Clinic, open Monday and Thursday mornings. Hopkins with his hand in the air. He's going to kick against this wind. He's going to keep it low, line drive. Will be taken at the 35-yard line and then knocked out of bounds. Not much of a return there, but still good field position. Caleb Heenick with the football there for Nemaha Central. They will start out at the 42.
Yeah, and every single kick game is going to be an adventure right there. And I think both teams would just say, hey, we don't want an adventure. You saw it right there. He did a good job just receiving the ball. Nothing. Didn't try to get too special. Didn't try to go laterally. Did a good job just getting upfield and give Nemaha Central good field position to start this drive.
From their own 42, Thunder on right hash, leading by 8. They'll keep everything tight here inside the formation. One wide receiver to the left-hand side. Hike wants to run to the left. He has some opposition. Bryson Lippold trying to make a tackle. He already broke a tackle of Tristan Swank. Now a big stiff arm across the face mask of Caden Berrigan. And Southeast of Saline will run Carter Hike out for a loss of a yard. 1 yard loss on the play.
1 yard loss, and a great job for him, for Hike not to take a 6-yard loss. It looked like Chambers might have had him in his arms. It's the stiff arm from Hike that's just throwing everybody off him. Just a great individual play to only lose 1 yard.
Coach Gladik told Tyler Henry in pregame that he slimmed down. He lost a few pounds. He didn't lose any strength, that's for sure. That stiff arm is as scary as what it's ever been.
This kid is massive. I mean, whatever weight he lost, good on him, but this is just an absolute unit back there at quarterback.
They got him a 6 foot, 215 pounds. Here's Strothman, fake handoff to him. Hike will keep it, left-hand side. Picked off, stumbled. Brody Chambers made first contact with him, and then he was taken to the ground by Tristan Swank. 1 yard gain on the play, got the original loss back, and now it's 3rd down and 10.
Devin, in prepping for this game, you see a lot of Hike highlights, and we see all of his exploits on social media everywhere. But watch the way this young man plays. He plays a lot like Grady Gephardt, where he gets up, he's always congratulating his teammates. He's never disgruntled out there. He's always got positive body language. If you're watching with a young kid right now, have them watch number 6 and the way he conducts himself on the playing field.
3rd down and 10, a total of 4 wide receivers plus a slot back for Nemaha Central. Seitz will go in motion. Hike will go the other way. He's under pressure. Has to get around his Southeast tackler. He does. Now runs into his own guy, and he's going to be brought down at the 40-yard line. It's a quarterback sack and a loss of 2 for Nemaha Central. Boy, Southeast just tackling by committee now because they have to, but just group effort that time. And a passing grade on that project for Southeast of Saline's defense.
Yes, and give credit. Sometimes you need Nemaha Central to get in the way, and that's exactly what happened. Again, they do so many things off script as well, and Hike right there trying to scramble around just runs into his own offensive lineman, held him up a little bit, and then the Purple Hats came to corral Hike up.
It's the second tackle for loss Southeast of Saline had on that drive. 2 guys back. It's Hopkins, Hollub standing at their own 20-yard line. This will be a wind-aided punt by Levi Thomas. It will be taken by Hopkins at the 19-yard line. And he had a knee down when he caught it. They're going to blow it dead at the 20. So Southeast of Saline will take over here at their own 20-yard line. But again, kudos to the Trojan defense. A Trojan defense, boy, they're doing a good job. Salina Fence Company Trojan defense, they're doing a really good job right now. As I said, two TFLs, tackles for losses on that drive. And now the offense gets the football back.
When you see Hopkins go to a knee there, normally you never want your punt returners or kick returners to go to a knee. However, in these conditions, make sure you secure the football. That's the number one goal with this. You get the ball at the 20, now it's time to go to work.
2 receivers to the right for Southeast of Saline operating against the wind. Here is the end around. Canyon Douglas has a crease, gets it back to the middle, have a 6-yard gain. Canyon Douglas on his first carry of the day will have it for 6 yards and bring up 2nd down and 4. Canyon has been really good, especially in the last few weeks, as he had a kickoff return for a touchdown at the end of the second quarter, right before halftime last week, that really captured some big momentum for Southeast of Saline in that Hoisington win.
And, Devin, the more success you have running the ball to the outside, it's just going to stretch out this defense and open up that inside run game a little bit more.
He actually gave him 7 on that play. 2nd down and 3. And here's a flag and a loose ball. There's a trash bag that flew by us. Wind has switched a little bit, though, Tyler. I said before when we started it was kind of at an angle towards the concession area. Now it's blowing right down the middle of the field, kind of whipping back and forth that way. That's penalty against Southeast.
Yeah, that's 2 now snap issues we've seen. We saw, a play earlier where the ball was snapped and nobody else moved, and right there a false start. It looked like, again, the snap count was just off a little bit. Again, we've seen several players play center for Southeast of Saline. We've seen several play in the same game. It looks right now it's Killian Vaughn, and you just wonder if some of that's having an effect on these snap issues.
2 players to the right-hand side and another stoppage in play, another flag here, and a procedure penalty against Southeast of Saline.
And here's where things are starting to get dangerous. You get behind the chains and have to punt into this wind, things are going to get hairy. Obviously, we know it's going to be difficult to throw into this, so you're going to have to get creative with your run game. 2nd and long, you just want to – right now you're fighting really hard to make this a 3rd and 5, 3rd and 6. So you really want to try to get 6 or 7 yards here at the very, very least.
All of a sudden, after 2 flags, your 2nd down and 3 is turned into a 2nd down and 13. You're back at the 17-yard line. Lyric Lilly in the slot to the right-hand side, one of 3 wide receivers. Potachik looks that way, now quarterback run, tucks it, gets out past the 20, and he's brought down at the 22-yard line. Ankle tackle there by Big Hendricks Wall, 6'3", 300-pound senior that goes both ways here on this team.
Yeah, he's an absolute just beast of a man down there, and he moves well. There's not many things that Wall can't do on a football field.
5-yard gain by Tiernan Potachik will bring up 3rd down and 8. Now manageable after that 5-yard gain. The second quarter presented to you by Assyria Oil and Hardware. Lori, Keith, the Blake family, they love Trojan football. They love supporting Southeast of Saline. Tiernan Potachik rolling out. Puts it downfield, has Canyon Douglas, and it's caught at the 49. Douglas brings it in, out of bounds at midfield, and a big play. Potachik to Douglas at midfield.
Devin, I don't know if we can describe how difficult that pass is from Potachik. He's rolling out to his right, and the lefty quarterback has to throw into the wind. He's thrown to a very tight space. Just a perfect spiral from Potachik to hit Douglas in stride.
Big play. Playoff Canyon rises up again. It looked like Tiernan overthrew him by 50 yards on that play. Here's a little read option play to Gebhardt. Maybe a little bit too long. Too much time spent in the mesh point, Tyler, that time, and they're going to take a loss for 2.
Yeah, it looked like Tiernan would just continue to read, and Gebhardt never was able to get his legs loose. He was just sticking there with the football in his hands. Couldn't get going because Potachik wouldn't let go of it. But that's what this defense does. It's going to give you different looks. Your reads aren't always there. Again, we talk about that 3-5-3. There's different backers. There's different read points from that read option that you have to look at. And right now, it's just causing a lot of havoc for the Southeast offense.
Potachik with a tight set, pitch out. Gebhardt wants the left-hand side. Follows Lyric Lilly through. Now a spin move. He'll get back to the original line of scrimmage and now stopped at the 46 after a gain of 3 for Grady Gebhardt. So far, 8 carries, 28 yards for Grady Gebhardt. How about the passing game, though, in Tiernan Potachik? He started out 0 for 5. He has completed his last 4 in a row.
Yeah, and it's none bigger than that the pass that got the first down here. But, again, with the wind, we often talk about, how difficult it is to throw into the wind. It's not always easy to throw with the wind at your back either. Just kind of it makes that ball move every which way when you're throwing it. 2
wide receivers to the right. They're going to fake Gebhardt, the pitch out to the left. Potachik hit as he throws, go looking for Canyon Douglas that time, and Canyon battling with sights. And he goes down, and that ball goes right over the top of both their heads. Potachik took a big hit on that play from Nemaha Central's defense, and it's incomplete.
Yeah, it's an interesting play call because on 4th and 7, in a spot where you kind of expect that you're going to go for it on 4th down anyway. You might try that quarterback draw, try something in the middle to get some more yardage as you see the offense stay out on the field for a 4th and 7.
We have seen Southeast quick kicks sometimes. Not often. I think maybe once this season. Potachik hard counting, trying to get people to jump off, has 3 wide receivers on the right. Hopkins a solo on the left. Line of scrimmage here at the 46. That wind howling in their face. Now Tiernan will back up. This will be a quick kick situation. He'll put his foot into it. He'll angle to the right. and then take a little bit of a southeast bounce, but that wind does not agree and blows it right out of bounds. And Nemaha Central will get the football here as they start out at their own 33-yard line. So that punt netted 13 yards. That is how bad that wind is.
And that's something you have to look at in fourth down opportunities when you're at midfield. Like, how valuable is that 13 yards? You know, if you go for it and you don't get it, you turn the ball over right there. It's just, you know, it's a yin and yang. What do you do right there? 13-yard net punt. We'll see if it pays off. I mean, you don't know. It's easy to do these things, but in retrospect, when you're looking at things, but, you know, if that's the way you're going to play, you're going to rely on your defense and let them go to work.
7:06 left to go. Nemaha Central takes over. They're at their own 33-yard line, left hash, leading 14-6. Second quarter brought to you by Asaria Oil and Hardware. Hike checking over with the Nemaha Central sideline. Looks left. Now wants to come back right. He is chased from behind. Now gets away. Lost his hand warmer. Brody Chambers slams that down in frustration. That's all Brody got out of that effort was taking Carter Hike's hand warmer. And Carter Hike's going to negotiate traffic out past the 35, gets to the 37-yard line on a gain of 4.
Well, and when Gladik said that, you know, he lost the weight to be more elusive, holy moly, you can see it. I mean, He can run through you. He can also run around you. The little juke moves, just the little explosiveness that he has could change directions. So tough. And as a defensive back, you don't know what to do. You want to come up and try to help with the tackle, but you can't leave the receivers wide open. It's a good job just corralling him by the Southeast defense.
Second down and 6. Ball sitting at the 37-yard line. Strothman will go in motion. He's going to go out wide. They're going to hand it off inside to Seitz, and Seitz has it out across the 45-yard line, or just at the 45 for a Nemaha Central first down. Seitz that time out to the 44-yard line. It'd be a gain of 7 on the play. Jaden Seitz.
Yeah, Jaden Seitz, a nice hard run right there, running through people at the end. I mean, you think about, you always take the mentality of your leaders, right? We see Southeast play so hard and so aggressive, and this Nemaha Central is the exact same way. I'm assuming they're tackling drills. They get down and dirty when you have a leader like Hike leading the way.
2 running backs in the backfield. They're going to fake it. Hike has it. He's being chased by Swank. He gets away, and then he is hit hard by Killian Vaughn and taken down. Drew Weller, Canyon Douglas also there as Southeast of Saline comes swarming in by committee, but that effort was begun by Tristan Swank and then finished by his neighbors.
Just a great job from Swank, and normally that's a tackle we see Swank just make easily with one arm. He can drag a guy down, but it took him everything just to hold on to Hike, and then everybody else, led by Vaughn, comes and cleans it up, now making the 2nd and 18 for Nemaha Central.
Loss of 8 on the play. Good surge that time by the sophomore. Second down, back at the 36-yard line. 2 wide receivers out to the right, 1 to the left. Carter Hike, wind at his back now. He's rolling out to the right, looking downfield, being chased. Has to cut back to the center. Brody Chambers is there, and then coming up making the tackle from the sideline that time was Drew Weller. Weller was the one that stretched him out to begin with, and then when Hike cut back to elude Brody Chambers, Weller came back to get him at the 41-yard line after a gain of 5.
Yeah, it looks like Chambers comes and delivers a pop, just doesn't wrap. And that's, you know, it's easy to say from up here. You know, you got to wrap, but you got to make sure you're wrapping up and getting your head on the correct side. And such a difficult load to take down, but those are plays that you have to make on Hike before he busts loose.
Brody has been so close on like the last 5 downs. 3rd down and 13 for Nemaha Central. Hike will keep it. He'll run it to the right-hand side, and he is going to be brought down by Swank. Berrigan came in and went for a ride there at the end, but Tristan Swank, and Tyler, you and I were talking the rematch from a year ago, all these dudes that are back that played in this game, Tristan Swank at a sophomore this season is the wild card for Southeast.
Yeah, without a doubt. What he brings offensively and defensively and just that nastiness, and he's huge. I mean, he gets off, he's a first guy off the bus type of guy. When he steps off, you always want your big dudes coming off first, and he's playing like a big dude today.
That's the 4th tackle for loss for Southeast of Saline's defense in the last 2 drives. Clock inside 4 minutes. Nemaha Central ready to punt. Hopkins and Holub back deep. Here's the punt. Right down the center of the field, carried by the wind. It's going to drive Amarion Holub back to the 15. He drops it. This is usually a good sign. Holub trying to find space out to the 20. Gets to the sideline and falls down out of bounds at about the 25. Chopped down over there by 2 Thunder defenders as he just came across the 25-yard line. We had 2 plays last week, one on offense and one on special teams that either the kick got dropped by Canyon Douglas and then he goes for a touchdown, or Tiernan Potacik had a snap that he dropped and then picked it up. Southeast scores a touchdown, so that's why I made the comment there. Usually when Southeast of Saline misplays a ball like that, ends up being a good spot.
Well, we say it throws off the timing. You know, you're so used to coming down, all of a sudden that ball slips around a little bit, throws off the timing for the pursuit team, the kickoff return, the defense, whichever it may be. But just the little things like that, when the timing's thrown off, usually good things happen.
From the 27, 3 minutes and 40 seconds left here in the first half. Pitch out, Gebhardt, left-hand side, big block out there by Lippold. Grady still looking for some space, and he'll end up in a car pile out at the 29-yard line after a gain of 2. Obviously, big focus by this Nemaha Central Thunder defense on Grady Gebhardt, and it should be. Grady came into this game, of course, his stats very, very impressive. 183 carries, flirting with 2,000 yards, and 33 rushing touchdowns. 3 wide receivers now to the right. Here's Gebhardt again, straight up the middle. Steps through an ankle tackle. He's out to the 35 and just short of the first down. He's going to need a yard. It'll be 3rd down and 1 out at the 36-yard line. Nice carry there by Grady Gebhardt of 7 yards. And believe it or not, that's his second longest carry of the game. Actually, they gave him the first down. Pardon me. So a first down there by Grady Gebhardt, as he's able to get a first down. That's a big one for Southeast. Here's the give back inside to Gebhardt, spinning with the defender riding him out across the 40-yard line, and he gets brought down at the 42 after a gain of 5. Another big carry there by Grady Gebhardt, his 11th carry of the day. And Southeast just methodically going down the field here, working on this drive out to the 43-yard line. 2nd down and 4. Back to Gebhardt, runs into a wall, and he's going to turn and stumble his way to the 45. That'll be a 2-yard gain. As Southeast of Saline now leaning on the running game going into this win. Tyler Smith is on his way to the field on the Salina Ortho sidelines to get comments with Mitch Gebhardt before he heads into the locker room here at the break. 2 minutes left to go here in the second quarter. Southeast of Saline trailing Nemaha Central by 8 points. 3 wide receivers to the left for the Trojans. Potacek gives it to Gebhardt. Gebhardt with space. He's going to bounce it out. Berrigan out there blocking to the 40, 35, and then brought down out of bounds at the 32-yard line. A big carry of 23 yards by Grady Gebhardt on his 13th carry of the day. Big carry by Gebhardt on that play. And now Southeast of Saline is cooking on offense. They have gone to the run, and they are making headway out of it. 1st down and 10 at the 32. Here comes a motion man. It's Holub. They go right back to Gebhardt, and he is chopped below the knee behind the line of scrimmage for a loss of a yard. So Southeast will have to regroup there after losing a yard with Gebhardt on that play. 1:30 left to go. 2nd down and 11. Here's the snap. Potacek wants to pass in the pocket. Gets around a Thunder defender. Now rolling out to the right. And he's going to try to throw the football, but it pops up in the air and goes out of bounds.
Potacek's pass, throw it away.
Yeah, and it looks like, they want intentional grounding over here in Nemaha Central. It looks like Potacek just tried to get rid of that ball with the right hand. I don't know if there was a receiver anywhere near. Nevertheless, Southeast Saline fortunate not to have an intentional grounding there.
That'll stop the clock. It looked like the ball was deflected, maybe coming out of his hand. You're much closer than I am. You're braving the wind right now, but that stops the clock with 1:15 left to go. Football at the 33-yard line. 3rd down and 11. Potacek rolling out to the left. It's a throwback to the right. Lippold comes and gets it. He's going to make it back to the line of scrimmage and not much more. It'll be a gain of 3 for Bryson Lippold. And he fumbled the football. Tyler, take me through that.
Yeah, I don't know if he was down or not, but there were multiple players on the ground when Lippold goes down. Ball just squirts free. It's a huge turnover, especially with the win. Nemaha Central has the win. They have 1:06 left. I mean, that's an eternity of time when you still have all 3 timeouts with this win.
So with 1:06 left to go in the second quarter, a crucial play. Not only do you give the ball back to Nemaha Central, but you also stop a potential scoring drive of your own with 66 seconds left to go here in the quarter. You can hear the wind in Tyler's mic just howling through the field here at Gowan Stadium. It is a lot right now.
Devin, you can feel the wind down here.
1st down, here's Hike. Looked like maybe he come up and pass that. Now he's going to run it, and he has space. Carter Hike at the 50, at the 40. 2 Trojans chasing. Malachi Hopkins is going to take a dive, and it's a touchdown for Nemaha Central. Boy, you talk about a big reversal in fortune. Southeast of Saline goes from potentially scoring points to end the half to giving the ball back, and one play later, Carter Hike is in the end zone on a 67-yard touchdown run.
That's a play we see a lot of times. We see some guy like Hopkins. We see, we saw Potacek. They both had angles on him, and Hike just outruns them both. Just once he got out in the open, and we haven't seen him out in the open often. Usually he's dodging, ducking, running through people, but he just outran every Trojan right there.
It's the first offensive touchdown Nemaha Central has scored in this game. The other two were special teams touchdowns to begin the game. So they finally get a touchdown here with 54 seconds left to go in the second quarter. Nemaha Central tacks on the extra point. Levi Thomas puts it through the uprights, and we will take a break. 21-6. Nemaha Central leading with 54 seconds left to go in the half. Back with more Trojan football presented by Abilene Termite and Pest Control.
For 40 years, Phillips Seed has delivered top-quality certified seeds. With wheat drilling season approaching, now's the time to reach out to Phillips Seed Farms for the latest variety options and tailored seed treatments. It's also the perfect opportunity to plan your corn hybrids and soybean varieties for the 2025 planting season. Visit PhillipsSeed.com, follow us on Facebook and X, or connect with a local seed dealer near you. Phillips Seed, serving, innovating, growing since 1985.
The recent storm could have done a real number on your roof, but how would you know? Is your home vulnerable to future damage? Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing today. An in-person roof inspection is necessary to evaluate damage. Rely on Bryson to perform a free roof assessment. Inspect, assess, and resolve. Protect your home and make sure your insurance policy provides the coverage you deserve. Roofs, windows, siding, and gutters on your home or business. Call Bryson Flax at Ryan Roofing, always supporting the southeast of Saline Trojans.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Thunder ready to kick it off. They are using a holder once again with this wind here at Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson. Amarion Holub will take it back at the 7-yard line. He'll angle to the right. He's past the 15, runs into a wall of blockers and wedge breakers trying to get to him, and he will be brought down at the 19-yard line. Tyler, we can talk about the wind until we're blue in the face. You really don't get the factor that it's making in this game until you experience, and right now, my friend, you are experiencing it.
No, you're exactly right, and it just changes everything. I mean, even the snaps. The wind is blowing so hard, it's changing the snaps. When you talk about, you've seen the official place the ball down. The ball's rolling every once in a while. Like, it is playing just – it's a huge factor that you have to deal with while you're down here.
Not only that, but we've talked about the debris that's blowing across the field right now, that sometimes right in the players' faces. As we had a timeout here by Nemaha Central on the sideline, Southeast didn't hear it, and they went ahead and snapped the ball, but that's not going to count. They're going to have it here first down and 10 as Nemaha Central takes a timeout. I want to remind you, Southeast of Saline's Booster Club helps bring live coverage to showcase exceptional student activities and build that purple power. It is always a great day to be a Trojan. Also, don't forget highlights of this game and also the Salina Central game. There's a great article written by Tyler Henry on Salina Post Sports right now. You can see highlights of this game on our X page as well, at S Post Sports. That's brought to you by the Billings Group. Glad you could join us. We'll go over scores and also the schedule of state games that are happening not only today but also yesterday as things got underway. Yesterday in the state of Kansas in classes 5, 3, and 1A. There were two games here in Hutchinson. This is the third and final game of the weekend here at Hutch Community College. 48 seconds left to go. First down and 10 southeast of Saline. It's a 15-point Nemaha Central lead. Southeast of Saline has the ball at the 19-yard line. Still all their timeouts remaining. Here's the end-around give. Canyon Douglas. Douglas hops through a couple of would-be tacklers, and he's brought down at the 25.
Yeah, Devin, I don't think you're going to get anything too special or too flashy right here from Southeast Saline. I'm assuming you're going to keep the ball on the ground. If you spring one, and then you go. But I think right now, Coach Gebhardt wouldn't mind going to the locker room down 21-6 and just regrouping. This score reflects a lot what it did last year, just reversed it when it was 20-6. So we see that this deficit can be cut into. Just can't do anything silly in the last 42 seconds of this half.
Kenyon Douglas did get out of bounds. That'll stop the clock. 42 seconds left. Here's a little play-action read run. Potacek faked it to Gebhardt. Now he goes ahead for a couple of yards, and that will bring up third down for Southeast of Saline here. 3rd down and 2 coming up. And another timeout. This will be taken by the Thunder as well, and it will leave them with one timeout remaining. They want the ball back here And it's interesting because a lot of times what we see Southeast of Saline do to people, Tyler, we are seeing that now from the other sideline.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a great call from Gladik. Get that timeout called. Now it's a 3rd and tough for Southeast, and you basically have to run the football. You can't risk throwing the ball, throwing an incomplete pass. If you do that, then that means Nemaha Central can save that final timeout. If you run the football right here and you don't get it, at least you force Nemaha Central to burn their final timeout at the half before you punt the ball to them.
Trojan football brought to you by Aeroplanes Housing Development, Salina's newest housing development. They are going through different phases. Of course, you start with phase 1, and right now there are 5 homes remaining in phase 1. Get on Aeroplane's website and check them out. Great floor plans and affordable housing in Salina's newest housing district. It's Aeroplanes Housing Development in Salina. 3 wide receivers to the right, 3rd down and short. They're going to give the delay handoff this time to Grady Gebhardt, and he's going to get the first down, bring it out across the 35-yard line to the 37-yard line. That time for Southeast of Saline, it is a gain of 10 by Grady Gebhardt. On that carry, his 15th carry of the game. And 15 carries equals 77 yards for Grady Gebhardt. Southeast here in the hurry-up formation. 3 wide receivers off to the right-hand side. Pitch out Gebhardt. He wants to go that side. Wall of blockers out in front. He ducks underneath a would-be tackler, and he's going to come out to the 44-yard line. Gain of 8 by Grady Gebhardt. See if Southeast calls a timeout or if they keep running quick here. Clock is down to 11 seconds. And now Southeast of Saline will burn their first timeout. So now they have 2 timeouts remaining. Nemaha Central has 1 timeout remaining. 11 seconds left on the clock. Really limits your last few plays here also in this 11 seconds, doesn't it, Tyler? I mean, as far as throwing to the end zone or something like that, those options are totally out.
Yeah, you're you can't get the ball to the end zone, first of all, throwing it. I don't know if there's – you just think of the trick plays you can run, maybe a little hook and ladder, some of the outside. It's just this Nemaha Central team, you're not going to catch them off guard. They're going to get everybody back. You know, we talk about how athletic their linebackers are. They can flow from side to side, from sideline to sideline. It's going to be tough to beat them on the perimeter. I think right now it's something, a little window dressing, Gebhardt up the gut, and you see what he can do.
Southeast will come out here. They will dispatch 3 wide receivers off to the left-hand side. It's a single off to the right. Gebhardt in the backfield along with Tiernan Potacek. Tiernan giving the look of a pass. Now he wants to tuck it and run. Sprints out to the right-hand side. Gets a block from Berrigan and then popped out of bounds at the 48-yard line. It's a gain of 8 that time by Tiernan Potacek, and 3 seconds left on the clock here for Southeast of Saline to run one more play.
First and 10 from the 48.
Ball sitting at the 48-yard line. Boy, not a bad drive when you consider Southeast started out their own 19 here. Just like to have another minute on the clock, wouldn't you?
Yeah, without a doubt.
First down here for Southeast, maybe the last play of the half. Potacek is going to slip the screen to Gebhardt. Gebhardt turns it upfield, has to get through a couple tackles, and then he will take it to the 43-yard line. It's a gain of 5 on the screenplay over to Gebhardt. And we are at halftime. Grady Gebhardt, that's his first catch of the day as we are awaiting comments from head coach Mitch Gebhardt right now. 21-6 our score here at the break. Nemaha Central leading, and boy, what a momentum capturing play that was by Nemaha Central as Southeast of Saline had a fumble, and then the next play, Carter Hike is running down the sidelines, and he's taking it to the house from 67 yards away. Southeast of Saline was looking to go in down by less than a score. Now it's 15 points on the scoreboard, the difference between Nemaha Central and Southeast of Saline. Southeast, though, after halftime, they are scheduled to get the football back and receive the football as we will start third quarter action. Coming up here at halftime, of course, we're awaiting the comments of head coach Mitch Gebhardt, brought to you here on the field by Frisbee Construction. We are also going to check scores and schedule from across the state of Kansas as everybody's closing out their high school football season. Let's go down on the field. Here is Tyler with Coach.
Coach done 21-6 at half. Obviously, special teams has played a big part. You've done a good job bottling up Hike until that last play. What are you going to tell your guys in the locker room?
Well, we got to not make mistakes on special teams. That'd be a big deal. Not exactly the way a coach wants to draw up the first half of the state championship game, but we got to keep fighting. I mean, that's just what we got to do. We said that after they scored their second touchdown there. We just got to keep fighting and keep trying to get as many yards as we can on offense and tackle.
Yeah, Coach, and you're going to open up with the ball in the second half. You know, we've seen Gebhardt have success running the ball. Just, are we going back to the run? We've seen Tiernan throw the ball well in this wind as well.
Yeah, we just got to stay with what we do.
Excellent, Coach. Good luck to you in the second half.
Mitch Gebhardt on the field at that time, brought to you by Frisbee Construction with Tyler Smith. want to thank him for taking time before he goes into the locker room here to talk to the troops here, down 21-6 at halftime. Halftime is brought to you by Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories. As we come back, we'll check stats from the first half, also scores and schedules from the state championship games, and also look around what's going on in games right now going on. There are a couple of current games around the state of Kansas here on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. It's all coming up here at the break. Nemaha Central leads it over Southeast of Saline, 21-6 here at halftime on KINA.
Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories. Everything to bling out your ride in one place, including top quality lift kits, wheels and tires, bumpers, Jeep accessories, fender flares, bed covers, bed liners, step bars, even custom painting. Kickoff Auto is the and soil dealer and has many synthetics and filters in stock. Visit Kickoff Auto on Facebook for specials, great ideas, and let them make your truck stick out in a crowd. Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories, supporting the Southeast of Saline Trojans. Whether on the field, court, or in the operating room, experience matters. A coach loves an experienced team just like a patient values an experienced doctor. Salina Ortho has ABOS board-certified physicians with over 40 years of orthopedic service. If you need help staying active or just want to discuss options regarding the newest techniques and services and specialties that Salina Ortho provides, see one of our trusted physicians or visit salinaortho.com. Salina Ortho, your voice, your choice, past, present, and future.
Come home for the holidays at Aeroplanes Townhomes in Salina. Brand new 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom homes with over 1,500 square feet for only $229,000. Storm shelter, 2-car garage, solid surface countertops included. Sod, landscape, and sprinklers already installed. Plus $5,000 holiday cash on the last 5 homes in Phase 1. Take $5,000 cash or get a $5,000 credit for closing cost. You choose. Buy now and be in your new home in time for the holidays. Learn more at aeroplanesks.com.
We all make plans for the future, but car accidents, break-ins, and unexpected fires can disrupt those plans. At Shelter Insurance, our agents help design insurance plans that work for you and help protect what matters most. Shelter Insurance. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Hey, Salina, come see us at the Kelly Kitchener Agency near the intersection of Cloud and Ohio. We want to be your Salina, Kansas insurance agent.
Mary Maids in Salina offers house cleaning services you can see and feel. Your home is more than just a house. It's where memories are made and moments are cherished. Though life can be complicated, house cleaning shouldn't be. Mary Maids strives to take the stress out of your day so you can live your life your way. With more than 40 years experience and an advanced time-tested cleaning process, they can help you reclaim time with your loved ones. Find Mary Maids on Facebook or check out their website at marymaids.com.
Santa, we've got a problem. Everyone's Christmas list says the same thing. Remote start.
Ho, ho, ho! Sounds like we'd better call New Image Audio.
Exactly. They've got over 30 years of experience. And they can be moved when you get a new vehicle. It's perfect for your slate, too.
Ho, ho, ho! Let's get it scheduled right away.
New Image Audio, 340 South Broadway. Give them a call today. 785-309-1617.
Merry Christmas, and stay warm with a remote start from New Image Audio.
This is the Trojan Halftime Report. Coming up, a first half recap, stats, interviews, and a look at other area games. Let's head back to the stadium for Trojan Halftime on KINA.
Back here at halftime on the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories Halftime Report, 21-6 our score. Boy, what a game of swings so far. Nemaha Central leading by 15. They start the game with a kickoff return for a touchdown. Then Southeast of Saline's offense goes 3 and out. The ensuing punt, Nemaha Central would take that to the house too. So already making his impact on the first 5 minutes of this game was Caleb Strothman with both of those long returns for scores for Nemaha Central. Southeast of Saline's defense has done pretty well in this game. They have limited Nemaha Central big time except for one big play. That was the third touchdown, the only offensive touchdown so far scored by the Thunder. Nemaha Central's Carter Hike went 67 yards on the first play after a Southeast of Saline fumble to score. Other than that, Southeast of Saline hasn't given up much of anything. They've given up 51 yards outside of that play. Your totals here at halftime, Nemaha Central's Carter Hike hits 13 carries, a touchdown, 100 yards. Other than that, not much to talk about. He went 1 for 1 in passing, 4 yards. Nemaha Central, 113 yards rushing, 5 yards passing, 118 total yards. Southeast of Saline, 178 total yards. They have 114 rushing yards, 64 passing yards. Tiernan Potocik, 6 of 13 after missing his first 5 pass attempts. He ends up with 64 yards and a touchdown, a 5-yarder to Malachi Hopkins. Hopkins hits the break, 2 catches, 16 yards, a 29-yarder for Kenyon Douglas, a 13-yarder to Amarion Hollab, and a 5-yarder to Grady Gebhardt. Gebhardt so far in the first half, 16 carries, 85 yards. Also 5 carries, 16 yards for Tiernan Potocik. Kenyon Douglas has a couple of carries, 4 Baker's dozen, 13 yards, and Amarion Hollab had a carry for 1 yard. Southeast of Saline with 8 first downs here at halftime. Nemaha Central with just 3. I think, Tyler, that speaks to the job that Southeast of Saline's defense has done so far when you have held the Thunder to just 3 first downs.
Devin, it's easy to look at the score and it's easy to see how things have gone and just hang your head if you're Southeast of Saline. But when you really look at this, I mean, we've seen the offense is starting to pick up. You're seeing some drives put together. Obviously, you had short clock going into the wind right there. At the end of the second half, you see the fumble. Nemaha Central takes advantage of that, but you rely on your defense, and I think Coach Gebhardt said it best. You just got to continue what you do because we've seen the drives. We've seen that they can do that offensively. We've seen they can move the ball. You can't stall, and you can't turn the ball over. It's things we talked about at the beginning of the game. It's very cliche, especially in these championship games, how you win the game, but it's staying ahead of the chains and not turning the ball over. Still a whole half of football left.
Third down conversions, I think, tell the story of how this Southeast of Saline defense is doing. They're 0 for 4. Nemaha Central is on third down conversions. Southeast of Saline also has 4 tackles for loss defensively. But the 2 big numbers, if you take 2 big things away out of that first half that equal Nemaha Central's 15-point lead, it is 168 yards of special teams yardage, 2 touchdowns there, and then a fumble for Southeast of Saline that not only contributed to a Nemaha Central offensive touchdown, but also probably kept points off the board for Southeast of Saline. You and I were talking off the air. Even if you're Southeast there on that last drive that they fumbled, even if you don't score points, you go into the locker room down by 8, you get ball to start second half, and I think all the momentum, even though you're down by 8, not all of it, but 60% of it is on your side.
Yeah, and that's all come from the defense. We saw them just slow this Nemaha Central team down, and then all of a sudden, bam, you just spark, and you could feel it down there. I was on the field when it happened. You could just feel the explosion, and that's unfortunately maybe what Nemaha Central also needed. I want to say in times, you have the defensive back so back, you're expecting a pass from Hike. They're running short clock right there. They're going to go hurry up, and what do? They spread you out, and they go to their bread and butter, and Hike, once he got to the outside, we talk about how tough he is and his wiggles and how he can run through you. Seeing his open field speed down there was impressive. Felt like I was happy that I was standing there and not trying to chase him down because he just flew by.
We are at halftime. Nemaha Central leading Southeast of Saline 21-6 on the Kickoff Auto and Truck Accessories halftime report. When we come back, we will have a trip around the state of Kansas. Not only today's games, but also yesterday's finals. Another big one for Saline County as the Salina Central Mustangs able to get a victory. We'll go through all of that on the Bennington State Bank scoreboard. When we come back, Nemaha Central leads it by 15 here at the break on KINA.
Cole, do you remember last Christmas at the Miller's house?
I'll always remember that day as the Christmas clog. 4 kids, 5 cousins, 2 grandparents, and somebody flushed a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, and they had matching pajamas.
And matching plungers.
Their septic tank hadn't been pumped out in over 6 years.
And they were making chili for 20.
That's when you transformed.
Flush! The freakishly fast frog! Too much water, too much pressure, and Christmas joy was about to explode.
That's why we're telling folks now.
Get your septic tank inspected before Santa slides down your chimney.
And before Aunt Jan fires up her 7-layer bean dip.
At LilyPad Septic, we guarantee to inspect your system within 24 hours.
Or you get a free pump out worth $399.
If you need a flush and a rush, call LilyPad Septic.
LilyPad Septic.com.
Don't let your septic tank clog up your Christmas.
Call LilyPad Septic.
4 walls and a roof can make a house, but a home, that's where life happens. First steps, backyard birthdays, morning coffee, sunsets on the porch. Home isn't something you buy, it's something you feel. And when it's right, you just know. For 22 years, Dan Goebel has helped people in Salina find that feeling. And now he's here to help you. Your home is out there. Dan Goebel knows the way. Call 785-819-1904 or visit Salina Homes to find your way home.
in the trenches and on the ground. That's where the game is won. Isaacson Truckline is a proud supporter of the southeast of Saline Trojans. For local and long-haul service of freight and livestock, call Isaacson Truckline, reminding you to have a safe Friday night on the roads. Wreak havoc, Trojans.
Hey Trojans fans, this is Angela Gephardt, proud wife of Southeast Saline head coach Mitch Gephardt. Just like the Trojans strive for excellence on the field, the Bank of Tesket goes the extra mile to offer top-notch checking accounts that fit your style. Whether you're managing your day-to-day expenses or planning for the future, our checking accounts are easy, convenient, and tailored for you. Plus, with your local roots and friendly service, we're here to support you every step of the way. Go Trojans!
Bank of Tesket, member FDIC.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
Take the next step in your career with an MBA from Kansas Wesleyan and the Saline County MBA Scholarship. This opportunity is good for anyone living or working in Saline County and is valid for $100 off every MBA credit hour, lowering the total cost of the degree to around $12,000. Don't wait, the next session starts January 21st. Learn more today at kwu.edu/MBA. That's kwu.edu/MBA.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football.
Welcome back here to the campus of Hutchinson Community College, a joint facility here between Hutch High and Hutch Community College. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith. Nick Garst is our producer and engineer back at the KINA studios in Salina. Of course, live stream video being provided by Brian Dennett, who's braving the elements today on top of the press box here at Gowan Stadium. And it's all brought to you by our friends at Abilene Termite and Pest Control. Bugs, well, I think their season's pretty much over. You might see a few, but now rodents are trying to get into your shop, into your garage, and even your house. Call my good friend Kurt Phillips. He'll take care of all that rodent problem for you and make sure that you are rodent-free during this winter. They're looking for a place warm to go. Make sure it's not your home. Call Abilene Termite and Pest Control, not only serving Abilene, but also the Salina and Central Kansas area. Also, Isaacson Truckline, the Isaacson family always helping out when it comes with Southeast of Saline sports and academics, and the Bennington State Bank. Speaking of BSB, let's check the Bennington State Bank schedule and scoreboard. Let's first start with games yesterday, 1A, 3A, and 5A. All in the books, and we'll start with the Salina Central Mustangs. They had a wild game yesterday, full of turnovers and onside kicks and anything you want to put in there. And the Mustangs of Salina Central won their first state title in 20 years. They beat Basehor Linwood 51-34. Our first repeat champion from last year is the Andale Indians. They keep their winning streak alive, one of the longest winning streaks in the state, along with Southeast of Saline. Andale beat Topeka Hayden here at Gowan Stadium yesterday, 36-6 to repeat as the 3A state champion. And in 1A, another wild game here at Gowan Stadium yesterday. Sterling Black Bears, they looked like they were in control, and then Rossville came storming back, but it was the Bears holding off the Dogs at the end of the game. 35-34, Sterling gets the 1A title. Another game going on right now in 8-man Division I, South Central. Right now beating Lincoln 22-8. That game in 8-man Division I is at halftime along with us. 6A game this afternoon, just getting underway in Emporia. Manhattan is playing Olathe Northwest. Also at 3 o'clock, the 6-man game in Greensburg. It's Cunningham and Weskin. That's a rematch from last year's 6-man title game. And then a couple of games at 7 o'clock this evening. In 4A, Bishop Miege will take on Cape of Mount Carmel in Emporia. And also 8-man Division II in Greensburg. Hanover will take on Victoria. Take one more break. It's a 2-minute timeout. When we come back, we'll have third quarter action for you. Southeast of Saline trailing Nemaha Central 21-6 right here on KINA.
The Bennington State Bank proudly supports local sports and wants each student to know that their hard work and talent is noticed and appreciated. At Bennington State Bank, they care about local communities and are committed to fostering long-term relationships through the delivery of excellent customer service, integrity, and fairness. From helping local businesses to supporting community youth and nonprofits to helping you purchase your dream home or invest in your future, Bennington State Bank is here to help. Give them a call to experience exceptional banking with hometown service. Bennington State Bank, your trusted hometown bank. Member FDIC.
Come Come home for the holidays at Aeroplanes Townhomes in Salina. Brand new 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom homes with over 1,500 square feet for only $229,000. Storm shelter, 2-car garage, solid surface countertops included. Sod, landscape, and sprinklers already installed. Plus $5,000 holiday cash on the last 5 homes in Phase 1. Take $5,000 cash or get a $5,000 credit for closing cost. You choose. Buy now and be in your new home in time for the holidays. Learn more at aeroplanesks.com.
Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins!
Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at CopyCo. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, CopyCo also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
Kurt here from Abilene Termite and Pest Control. We can't control pests like that unemployed 25-year-old living in your basement, but the creepy crawly ones are our specialty. From Salina to Manhattan, Clay Center to Hillsboro, and everywhere in between. We've been locally owned and here for you since 1951, offering great service, a firm handshake, and no long-term contracts. Visit AbileneTermite.com or find us on Facebook. I'm Kurt Phillips, and we'll keep the bugs out for you.
You're listening to Trojan Football.
Back here in the Bennington State Bank broadcast booth at Gowan Stadium in Hutchinson. Time for the second half of our 2A state title game. Devin Haney along with Tyler Smith. Boy, Tyler, we saw a lot of it there in the first half. A lot of it positive for Nemaha Central. What are your new image audio keys to success for the Trojans to get back in this?
Well, you just can't look at the scoreboard. My message at halftime would be it's 0-0. You're coming out. You have 24 minutes left to play the season. A lot of these guys, 24 minutes left in their career. It's 0-0. Go out and try to win this thing by at least 15. Give yourself time. Value the ball. Value every possession. And you got to make sure that special teams are not an adventure. The weather right there is going to create every special teams opportunity as an adventure. How do you minimize that? Secure the ball. That's all you need to take care of right now if you're southeast of Saline, as Nemaha Central is getting set to open the second half with the kickoff.
Getting ready for a third quarter here, brought to you by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms, not only serving Saline but also serving Hutchinson, right where we sit here at Gowan Stadium. Cole, Callie, and the new addition Weston, always supporting Southeast of Saline. I want to thank them for jumping on board here with Southeast of Saline Trojan football and another magical run here to the state title game. These two teams have won state titles, well, all of them recently. They've been pretty greedy, actually. Nemaha Central in 2019, 2022, 2023. Then, of course, Southeast of Saline won it last year in 2024. So this is something that has been kind of a tradition, but it will go away next year. Nemaha Central, along with Hoisington, the opponent from last week, will be vacating and going to Class 3A next year. Here's the kick, a little bit of a squib. It's going to be taken by Southeast of Saline. Tyson Keller got it on the run, and he'll bring it out past the 40-yard line. And Southeast of Saline will start out here at the 41.
Yeah, good field position to start off. I mean, you look at it anytime you're starting on the 30 forward, you kind of look at that as good field position. Here you go, you're 60 yards away from the end zone. It's going to be easy to say. This is cliche, but this is the drive of the season. Kind of dictates how the rest of the second half is going to be played.
First and 10, Tiernan Potachik and company out with that Trojan offense. Amarion Holub comes in motion. They give it to Amarion. He's looking for a block and a stretch play here, trying to step through a Nemaha Central tackle, but he cannot get through a committee of thunder that time that comes his way. First on the arrival, Sullivan Haverkamp for Nemaha Central. He's still down. He got twisted up that time. He kind of went to the ground with Amarion, and he is still down in front of this Nemaha Central bench. Also, they're arriving with him, Kyler Ganstrom for Nemaha Central, a gain of 1 yard on the stretch play that time for Amarion Holla.
Yeah, and the stretch plays, you just continue to see the defense. There's so many guys out there, and the leverage just continues to come. They create that leverage so you can't get to the outside. They force you inside, but then you have the other backers coming. I mean, it's an easy concept when you talk about this 3-5-3 and you talk about having the athletes. You're like, why don't other teams do this? Well, a lot of teams don't have that many athletes they can get downhill. They can also go sideline to sideline. They make it so difficult for you to run up the gap and to get to the outside.
Sullivan Haverkamp is the Thunder player that's down. He kind of pounded the turf with both fists and then flipped over on his back. And that really is the magic about the 3-5-3 with it. I mean, it sounds kind of like a duh statement because you can say this about any defense. You got to have the athletes first. but just the adaptability and the flexibility of that defense, especially at the linebacker level.
And when you can do it, and then you have guys that should be there. And you're not filling any holes. You got guys that absolutely thrive in this defensive scheme.
2nd down and 9, southeast of Saline with 4 wide receivers off right hash. They go to Gebhardt, and he is hit immediately and brought down. No gain on the play. That'll bring up 3rd down and long for southeast of Saline. Gebhardt, 17 carries, 85 yards so far, as he is trying to make his way back towards 100 yards. Of course, he'd love to have the touchdown to go along with it. 3rd down and 9, 5 wide receivers now, 3 of them to the left-hand side. Thunder showing blitz from the outside. Now they're going to back it off a little bit. Stepping in there was Jack Mackey. He's going to come on the blitz. Potachik does it seem, and the completion is going to be near the sticks. I think about a yard short, though. Amarion Hollop will catch it at the 50, 4th and 1 coming up.
Yeah, a little snagger, little option route right there from Hollop, and you want to get to the sticks there. That throw just kind of brought him inside. Nevertheless, good job reading where he needed to get, finds the open turf, makes the catch, secures it for a 4th and 1 opportunity.
3 wide receivers to the left. Bryson Lippold, also the power back behind the line of scrimmage on the left-hand side behind Swank and Weller. Potachik checking with the southeast of Saline bench. Southeast is going to go for it here early. They're going to give it to Gebhardt. He's going to surge left-hand side. Grady Gebhardt won't be denied. Into the second level now and brought down at the 43-yard line. A gain of 7 on 4th and short by Grady Gebhardt.
Well, it's Brady Cook, the outside linebacker, that's scraping off that outside edge, and they just met head-on, and it's a good job. I mean, that's one of those things. When Gebhardt knows he only needs to get a yardage, there's nothing fancy, just putting the head down and getting that yard.
Pistol formation. Gebhardt directly behind Potachik. They go back to Grady. He goes right into the middle of that Nemaha Central defense again, and he's brought down after a 2-yard gain. 2nd down and 8 coming up.
Yeah, a little bit of a delay handoff right there. Just try to get the surge from the offensive line. But again, just so tough getting through to that next level. Those defensive linemen are doing a good job holding everything up.
Ball on the 41-ish, between the 41 and 42. Screenplay out to Canyon Douglas. On the left-hand side, drop the football, and it's going to be covered by Nemaha Central. Somebody from the Thunder put their helmet on the ball, and that ball comes loose, and southeast of Saline has their 2nd turnover of the day. Central will take over, and the Thunder will have the football.
Yeah, and it's one of those plays. So Canyon catches that ball. He needs to get that ball to the outside arm. He had the ball in the right arm, and you're exactly right. It's a helmet. It looks like it's a hand swiping at the football. That's just a great job from Nemaha Central to get a hand on the football. I believe it's Caleb Henick that gets the hand on it, punches it out. Just a great job of tackling from Nemaha Central for a huge turnover.
2nd fumble of the day for southeast of Saline. Nemaha Central will take over at their own 34-yard line. 9:36 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Hike, little stretch play, pitches it out to Seitz. He shakes off Douglas in the backfield, and then Weller will take him down. As Seitz comes storming across the 35-yard line, he'll plunge ahead to the 37 and get a gain of 3. Jaden Seitz, he's so valuable to this team, but when you look at his offensive stats, they are not impressive at all. He just doesn't touch the ball a lot. That's just his 70th carry of the year.
But that's what you need to complement everything that Hike does. You know that when you're going to get the ball, you got to take advantage of those opportunities, as he did right there.
Weller was slow to get up. He stays in the game. So Weller, Swank, and Chambers up front. Here's Hike, wanting left-hand side. Has left-hand side. He's out midfield 50, and then brought out of bounds by Grady Gebhardt at about the 42-yard line. Big run by Carter Hike on the play.
And, Devin, when you have a quarterback run game, what that means, it's all of a sudden 11 on 11. You know, we talk about a lot of times when you hand the ball off to a running back, your quarterback's basically out of the play. It's 10 on 11. But when you can use Hike as effectively as they do, it means that everybody's locked up. We saw right there a little GT, the guard and the tackle were leading the way, but since you're not handing the ball off, there's no wasted player offensively for Nemaha Central.
Big carry by Carter Hike, 22 yards that time. 1st down at the 41 for Nemaha Central. And now a play up the middle, crossing inside the 41 to the 39 for a gain of 2. We talked about Caleb Strothman having both of these special teams plays for the Thunder. Well, now give a shout to Camden Schmitz. He is a 6'2", 185-pound senior, plays wide receiver and linebacker. He has both of the fumble recoveries for this Thunder defense.
And, you know, that's not a coincidence. You know, you start looking at these things, and I think sometimes you think, he's just there. No, it's right guy, right spot. If you're always ball hawking, always following the football, good things are going to happen to you.
2nd down and 8. Football sitting just inside of the 40-yard line at the 39 for Nemaha Central. 3 wide receivers. They want to run the option to that side. It's the right-hand side. Hike slips through a couple of tackles. Now a third tackle. Works his way back to the middle, and he's finally brought down from behind by Brody Chambers inside of the 25-yard line to the 24. That's a carry of 15 yards.
You can't overemphasize this enough, though. Every time you make a tackle on Hike and he doesn't spring it, it's big. I know it's a 15-yard gain. I know there was an opportunity to tackle him for a much smaller gain, but every time you stop him and you just create more offensive opportunities, it gives your defense more time to get a stop.
First down for Nemaha Central at the 24-yard line. Pistol formation now. They will hand it off to Seitz, who goes straight up the gut. He kind of disappeared in the pile, then comes shooting out the other side. He stumbled and fell down, but still a big positive carry on first down for Nemaha Central as Seitz gets 6 yards.
Yeah, this run game's really starting to gather steam, isn't it? This offensive line's just doing whatever they want.
Second down and 4. Back to Seitz, back-to-back carries, and he will end up in the pile again at the 17-yard line. Gain of 1 on that play. Jaden Seitz now with back-to-back carries. 4 carries, 17 yards for the game.
Yeah, big third down and 3 here. 100% if Nemaha Central does not get this, you're going to see them go for it on fourth down. So you don't expect anything. They have the entire playbook open for him. I'd expect something up the middle with Hike. We've seen some option runs. I doubt you're going to see him actually toss the ball. You're not going to toss it in these conditions with this lead. You want to make sure the ball's secure at all times.
Third down and 3 for the Thunder. They're operating off a right hash. They've also shoved 2 wide receivers on the short-hand side of the field. 2 over here on the left. Here's a motion man. It's Strothman. They fake it to him, and then Hike is brought down at the line of scrimmage for no gain on the play. Swank in there early on the play, along with Gebhardt. Brody Chambers present as well. Excuse me, that was Killian Vaughn, not Gebhardt in there.
And here we go. This play's huge. You got to get the ball back right here, as Nemaha Central will go for it on 4th and 3.
Big play here, 4th down and 3. Nemaha Central going into the wind. They do have a field goal kicker. That's not an option today. They will try to go for it here and keep this drive alive on a 4th and 3 from the 17-yard line. 2 wide receivers out to the left. Seitz directly behind Hike. They'll run out to the left-hand side. Run pass option. Hike's going to keep it. He's going to direct traffic. Cut back. He'll have the first down. And then stumbling inside of the 5. And a first down and goal coming up for the Thunder at the 4.
You see, he does such a good job getting outside. We don't see that leverage maintained from Southeast that Nemaha's doing a great job against Southeast on. And also it's a leverage thing that normally we see Southeast so good at, but they're just not doing it today.
Quickly back to the line of scrimmage. The Thunder. Hike wanting left-hand side. Floats back to the middle. It's a touchdown. Look at that pile move as Nemaha Central's offense just shoving everybody into the end zone. And Nemaha Central scores again. This time Carter Hike from 4 yards away on a first and goal with 5:35 left to go here in the third quarter.
Yeah, and right there, that was just big on big. We saw him overload the side, 3 running backs to the left, and Hike just follows them into the end zone. And there's just not a lot of Southeast can do. It's if you want to call it like a tush-push type play, but it's basically giving Hike a full head of steam. He's just running behind. He's running behind 6 guys. It's a good offensive play call inside the red zone.
I think the visual of that, how that play ended up, is extremely accurate when you call it that. Extra point pending now. Levi Thomas set to put his foot into it. He's kicking out of the hold of Leighton Thomas, and the kick is up, and he remains perfect on extra point kicks. 5:35 left to go here in the third quarter. Nemaha Central strikes again. They have extended their lead 28-6 over Southeast of Saline. Southeast of Saline football brought to you by Isaacson Truckline here on KINA.
The hours of drills, the pre-dawn workouts, the hundreds of laps. It takes hard work, passion, and drive to do what you love. When you're sidelined by injury, Salina Regional Sports Medicine is just as committed and works just as hard to get you back in the game. Salina Regional Sports Medicine, 785-452-7366. SalinaRegionalSportsMedicine.com.
You're listening to Southeast of Saline football on KINA.
Back here at Gowan Stadium, third quarter, 5:35 left to go, 28-6. Third quarter brought to you by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms, stretching from Salina to Hutchinson, everywhere in between, and a lot of areas outside of that area as well. Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Sponsoring this third quarter, Carter Hike has just scored from 4 yards out. Extra point kick was good, and Nemaha Central has extended their lead 28-6. Here's a ball now. It's on the ground, and Nemaha Central is going to recover that one as well. A little squib kick there. Thunder says they have it. I think they do, and the official call is Thunder football. So Southeast of Saline continues to struggle on special teams, and now they have turned the ball over 3 separate times here in this game.
And, you talk about kicking into the wind as being a detriment to your team and maybe a disadvantage. Nemaha Central's did a great job making that an advantage for them. We saw their opening kickoff went way up into the air, hit that wall of wind, and made for a difficult catch. But then we've seen squibs, wouldn't necessarily call them onside, but they're angling these at different spots that are really difficult to get on. And all of a sudden, it's just those are 50-50 balls that are no longer 50-50. It seems like they're all going Nemaha Central's way right now.
Nemaha Central will start out from the Southeast of Saline 41-yard line. Stacked backfield, 2 running backs behind Hike. They give it to Seitz. He starts out right-hand side. Now he cuts back, gets it back up inside to the 35, and then maybe another football. They're going to say he is down at the 35-yard line after a gain of 6.
Yeah, Seitz a good job holding on to the football right there. Southeast defender comes and swipes at the ball. He made good contact with it, but Seitz has 2 hands on it. Nice, strong run from Seitz.
2nd down and 4 coming up. Football setting at the 35-yard line.
And time is definitely Nemaha Central's front. They're just going to let this thing tick, tick, tick all the way down. Get that play clock down as much as they can.
On a 2nd and 4, here's Seitz. Little inside handoff that time. Started out left. He works it back to the right. Very close to the first down, but he's going to be a yard short after a gain of 3. It'll be 3rd down and 1. 6 carries, 26 yards for Jaden Seitz. The field was just such a mess last week when Nemaha Central played Osage City. It was a lot of Carter Hike in that game. He had over 40 carries in that game. 3rd and 1, here is Carter Hike. Trying the left-hand side, and he will be inside the 30 and a first down for Nemaha Central. Gain of 2 on a 3rd down and 1.
Yeah, and Hike's his football intelligence is just, his IQ is so high. He knows exactly what he needs. He's not going to try to do anything else. He's not going to try to run outside. He understands right there. It's 3rd and 1. All I got to do is get behind my big fellas, let them get the push. I'll fall forward, and I'll get the first down.
Southeast of Saline football brought to you today in part by Long MacArthur Ford, 0% on Ford F-150s, and there are a ton of them to choose from. More and more arriving every day, over 200 brand new F-150s with 0% for 60 months. 1st down and 10, Nemaha Central at the 30-yard line. Option play, left-hand side. Hike will keep it. Now spin his way back to the inside where he runs into Killian Vaughn and Brody Chambers for a 1-yard gain on the play.
Yeah, again, he makes that cut, and he comes back, and all of a sudden we're all holding our breath because we've seen him do that and scored off the other side, but you just saw the defensive line keep their defensive integrity, keep the flow coming this way, and hold Hike to a 1-yard gain.
2nd down and 9 here for the Thunder. Clock continuing to roll, 3:20 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Ball sitting at the 29-yard line. 2 wide receivers and a power back to the right. Hike now will come out of his stance. He'll look over at the coaching staff. He has Jaden Seitz directly behind him. Leighton Thomas is a single wide receiver to the left. Hike now ready to go. 1 second on the play clock. They'll snap the ball. Hike now with a little kind of visual read play, and he is going to get back to the line of scrimmage. Not much more on that play on his 21st carry of the afternoon.
Yeah, Southeast, good job just bottling him up, right? Like he just could never break loose, couldn't wiggle away. Again, that's what you got to continue to do. Now, another huge 3rd down. I mean, again, we're going to say this every single time Nemaha Central has a 3rd down, but and every single one carries more and more importance.
3rd and 9 from the 29. Coming up here for Southeast of Saline's defense. Got to believe, though, if you're Nemaha Central, you're planning on 2 downs to pick up this 9 yards.
Yeah, 100%.
This one coming from the 29. 3rd down and 9. 2 backs in the backfield. It's Strothman and Seitz. Hike's going to keep it, though, and he has the first down. And then some all the way down, just cracking the 20-yard line. Nemaha Central has the first down on a gain of 10 from Carter Hike.
And, again, you just see that speed option play out there. I mean, you've got to set that edge. You've got to make sure that there's somebody out there to at least slow him down. Once he gets a full head of steam, it's going to take multiple guys to bring him down. The Carter Hike show, it's living up to everything that it was hyped up to be. Hike is just an absolute man out there.
1st down and 10 inside the 20-yard line. Line of scrimmage now at the 19. Nemaha Central leading big, 28-6. 1:41 left to go here in the 3rd quarter. Hike still directing traffic. Play clock inside of 5. He'll take the snap, give it to Seitz. Seitz slide steps to the left, and he'll take it down to the 16-yard line. It's a gain of 3, and it just keeps that clock moving. Spotted the football now at the 16.
And again, defensively, you're always so worried about Hike. All of a sudden, you start getting Seitz more and more involved, and it's difficult. You got to make sure you know where Hike is at all times, what he's doing. Obviously, you know where he is. He's got the football, but you got to make sure you account for Seitz as well. It's extremely dangerous 1-2 punch here that Nemaha Central's throwing at Southeast of Saline.
Nemaha Central times this outright. They may only have to run one more play in this third quarter. Still have 12 seconds on the play clock here. 52 seconds on the game clock. Here's the pitch out. Jaden Seitz stringing it out to the left-hand side, finds a crease inside the 10, and then he's ran out of bounds at about the 8-yard line. So Seitz gets another carry. He's getting the bulk of the workload of his season here in this game. He's ran out of bounds at the 8. It's a gain of 8 and brings up first down and goal from the 8-yard line.
Yeah, good run from Seitz, but it's Jack Mackey on the outside getting a lead block and just delivering blows and creating a path for Seitz to run behind.
I said it about Mackey last year. I think he's the young unsung hero on this team, and maybe locally he gets more love than what he does what I see, but, man, he's good. And now here's Seitz getting it into the end zone. It's just his 8th rushing touchdown of the season, and this one comes from 8 yards away. So another touchdown for Nemaha Central, the extra point pending with 38 seconds left to go here in this one. Here in the third quarter still.
And, again, that's the danger right there. I mean, you just saw the gap open up, and Seitz just untouched into the end zone.
So an 8-yard rush there. Extra point pending from Thomas. Levi Thomas kicking into that wind again and successful again as he's having a good day in the kicking game. 38 seconds left to go. Nemaha Central having a good third quarter here. They extend their lead 35-6 over Southeast of Saline. Back with more Trojan football after this on KINA.
Hello, Trojan fans. It's Juanelle Garrettson with Salina Homes. What a year it has been. State champions in boys cross country, and here we are at the state game for football again. From the moment I arrived to teach school at Southeast in 1984, I knew our school and community had that championship DNA. Academics, the arts, technical programs, and sports. Southeast of Saline is a wonderful community to be a part of. No matter what your real estate season is, we can get together and have a championship moment. As always, buy or sell, call Juanelle.
You're listening to Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back here with 38 seconds left to go in the third quarter. Hope you're having a great Thanksgiving weekend. Hope you're spending it with family and doing all the fun stuff. What was your Friday like, Tyler? Did you go out at 5 a.m. Black Friday shopping? That's how I picture you not spending the day.
I did not, but you know who did.
Yeah. We all got them. Yep.
And thankful that they do.
Yeah.
So I can stay at home and Christmas shopping's done.
Kick on the ground. Larry Kalili will scoop this up and go down at the 45-yard line. Southeast of Saline will come out and take over there. Offensively, Southeast has been pretty good today other than that opening drive where they went 3 and out and had to kick it. But they have had their problems hanging on to the football today. 3 different fumbles in this game that have all resulted in Nemaha Central scores. 36 seconds left to go here in the third. Southeast with 2 wide receivers to the left and 1 to the right. They're going to start out at the 45-yard line. Potacek rolls out to the left, being chased. He'll throw it to Malachi Hopkins, who elevates and will bring it down at the 49-yard line. Looks like a gain of 4 on that pitch and catch. Tiernan's so good when he rolls out right or left, but obviously his strength is to that left-hand side, being a southpaw.
Yeah, great catch from Hopkins to go up and get it. And I'll tell you what, we've kind of talked about this a couple times just with the sportsmanship. I mean, Camden Schmitz not only goes over there and lays an absolute blow on Hopkins, but he's the first guy to help him up. I mean, you see why these teams are so great. They're just so disciplined, but they're so respectful of each other.
2nd down and 6 after that 4-yard gain. Knee-high snap. Potacek has it. Now he's going to slip a screen. It goes over the top of Gebhardt. And it looked like it was going to land right in the lap of Killian Vaughn. He was out there ready to block. But actually, that was Drew Weller maybe. And that would have been a flag. That would seem to the third quarter. 35-6 is our score. Southeast has their work cut out for them as we go to the fourth quarter, 35-6. Thunder on top of the Trojans. That third quarter brought to you by Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Back with more Trojan football after this on KINA.
Come home for the holidays at Aeroplanes Townhomes in Salina. Brand new 3-bedroom, 3-bathroom homes with over 1,500 square feet for only $229,000. Storm shelter, 2-car garage, solid surface countertops included. Sod, landscape, and sprinklers already installed. Plus $5,000 holiday cash on the last 5 homes in Phase 1. Take $5,000 cash or get a $5,000 credit for closing cost. You choose. Buy now and be in your new home in time for the holidays. Learn more at aeroplanesks.com.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free personal protection review, contact Shelter Agent Cale Sharp in Salina.
You are listening to Southeast Trojan Football on KINA Sports.
Back to action quickly here to start the fourth quarter. Pitch out right-hand side to Grady Gebhardt on a 3rd down and 6. Boy, it looked like Grady was going to be stopped there, Tyler, but he just keeps the legs moving and gets it to a 4th and inches play. Nose of the football sitting here at the 45-yard line. They need to break the 45 to get a first down.
And Devin, we talk about the turf and, how much faster, and, we talk about Southeast's team speed is one of their biggest strengths. This Nemaha Central team, getting them on turf, they look a lot different than they do playing on their home field of grass.
Here comes Lippold as a motion man. He's going to set up now on the left-hand side. Potocnik will turn, give the ball to Grady Gebhardt, and Grady will have the first down as he put his head down and plummeted across the 45-yard line to the 44. Give him a yard, but more importantly, keep the drive alive for Southeast of Saline on that 4th and short.
Yeah, again, just keep the chains going. Keep positive plays happening. Never know what can happen.
First down. Here comes Holub in motion. They fake it to him. Potocnik will keep it straight ahead, and he will attain the 41-yard line. Tiernan Potocnik on a gain of 3. That's just his first carry of the second half. He has 6 carries in the game for 19 yards.
Yeah, Potocnik, good job just reading his offensive line, getting what he can get there. Again, the Nemaha Central defense, you talk about bend but don't break. This is just a don't bend at all type defense, and you gotta stick your nose through someone's chest if you're going to get positive yards.
Second down from the 41. Here's a stretch play again to Holub, and he is going to be contained on that stretch. Boy, Nemaha Central does such a good job, too, just taking the blockers out that are leading the play. They're going to hold a Marion in that play to 2 yards. And if you're watching live stream video, thank you. First of all, it's brought to you by Abilene Termite and Pest Control, also Isaacson Truck Line and Bennington State Bank. But you will see the sun is out here in Hutchinson.
Smiles all around.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's a psychological effect when you see that.
It is. We thought we were going to have it. It was out in pregame, then kind of went away for a while. Here's Potocnik rolling out to the right. He's going to throw it out here to Holub, who runs out of bounds right at the sticks. And this will be a spot, kind of depending on here what the official calls. And he's going to say move the chains. It's a first down for Southeast of Saline.
Yeah, just a great catch from Holub. And that's not easy. The ball's thrown down low underneath his knees. Difficult while you're also running. Great grab. Gets out of bounds.
To the 39-yard line. That was a gain of 5 on the play for Southeast of Saline. First down and 10. Now Trojans. They put it in the belly of Gebhardt. He has to cut back. There's a purple wave of thunder right in the path that he wanted, and he cut it back just to get back to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
And just a great job from the backside of Nemaha Central, not over-pursuing, not collapsing, not giving up on the play, because, Gebhardt's, we've seen that a lot. We'll hit reverse field and get to the outside, but there was just no chance against the Nemaha Central front 7 or front 8.
Those are the football sitting now at the 34-yard line. 9:20 left to go. Nemaha Central making some teams on special teams that put Southeast of Saline behind the 8 ball, so to speak, right in this game, right out of the start. They led 14-0 on a kick return and a punt return. Here's the play action to Gebhardt. Ball out to Berrigan. There was a defensive back in the way. The ball still got through, but just that interference alone and the visual blockage prevented Caden Berrigan from getting that football.
And guess who it was? It was Jaden Seitz.
Yeah.
I mean, Seitz is just having a great state championship game. But it was that RPO. Tiernan sees backer come. He knows he's got Berrigan on the slant, but Seitz just comes up and gets enough of the football. It causes enough of a distraction for the incompletion.
That was the first incomplete pass thrown by Potocnik here in this second half. Dropping back, wants to go over the middle, and into that wind. Boy, that's a task, throwing anything more than 5 to 7 yards, and Amarion Holub watches that one bounced in front of him incomplete.
Yeah, really tough, and Kanan Sudbeck is just coming through. Not a lot of, I think, unabated right there. Potocnik did a good job just sticking in the pocket, made a nice throw, but a really tough throw into this wind.
Kenyon Douglas will come in. Bryson Lippold will check out. 9 minutes left to go here in this fourth quarter. 4th down and 10 for Southeast of Saline. Inside the 25-yard line, they need to go to keep this drive alive. Potocnik scrambling, rolling out, has Holub at the 15. And Tiernan Potocnik just made me eat my words. I said anything above 5 to 7 yards, but he just put that one on a frozen rope to the 13-yard line. It's a gain of 21 on that beautiful throw from Tiernan Potocnik.
And on the run, unscripted again.
Wow.
Just a great job from TP just to keep the play alive with his legs, makes that throw. Good catch.
First down for Southeast of Saline. Gebhardt on a sweep play. Breaks a tackle in the backfield, still puts his hand down, stumbling his way towards the goal line, and he's down at the 2. It's a gain of 11. Gebhardt unofficially now over 100 yards, and he just got about 5 extra yards out of that play. They're going to say first and goal, Southeast of Saline at the 2-yard line.
Well, he's ran for 100 and crawled for 5 now officially. Just a great job from Gebhardt.
Very nice, yes. Tight formation. Back to Gebhardt, has his ankle swiped right at the point of attack, and that was a very nice play by Camden Schmitz. Again, the 2 fumble recoveries for him on defense, and he came darting through and held Gebhardt for no gain on that play.
Yeah, and they come off the edges just like rockets, and they're coming right at your legs. I mean, they're doing a great job. Everything's fundamentally sound. You know, they're not trying to get you up high. Grady Gebhardt's tough to take down when you get him up high, so they're trying to knock him doon low.
2nd and 10, 4 wide receivers. Douglas is in motion. Potocnik will keep it. He'll be snowed under. Maybe lost a yard there, back to the 4-yard line.
It just seems like this defense flows so well, and then when you try to go, you know, up the gut, up the middle, all of a sudden they've got everybody there as well. I mean, you just look at them; it's a wall right there. Everybody looks similar size. You know, you talk about, you know, they have a lot of size and they have a lot of strength, but it's a bunch of just 5'10", 5'11" dudes that can fly around the field and are hungry to hit people.
3rd and goal for Southeast of Saline at the 3-yard line. Tight formation once again. They go back to Gebhardt. Gebhardt hit, but he gets away from it, trying to carry a purple pile into the end zone. He cannot, as he gets a yard and a half back to the 2-yard line. It'll be 4th and goal. I like the analogy you used about rockets coming at your ankles. It's kind of like Uncle Jim knocked over the Saturn missiles on 4th of July, and you're just kind of trying to step over them, but it's impossible at times.
It is. There's so many of them coming at you. You can get over one, but there's 2, 3, 4, 5 coming at you, and then all of a sudden you get cleaned up upstairs, up high as well. This defense just swarms.
4th and goal from the 2-yard line. Southeast of Saline. Little play action. Potocnik's going to roll out. Lippold, short of the goal line. They're going to say yes. He did not get there. Bryson Lippold trying to reach out and break the plane, and he is a half a football short, and Southeast of Saline will turn it over on downs. Boy, I thought Bryson Lippold was going to be able to sneak that one in for his 8th touchdown of the year, but that swarming Nemaha Central defense there to push him away.
He just met Caleb Strothman at the goal line, and Strothman having an absolutely huge day. You know, we talked about his kick return, his punt return, but what a great play defensively. Just meets Lippold right there at the end zone and would not let him in.
So, turnover on downs. Nemaha Central will have it now within their own 1-yard line. 6:41 left to go here in this fourth quarter. Hike 5 yards deep in his own end zone. Will take the football and he'll bring it out to the 4 and gain 3 yards on the play. That'll give the Thunder a little bit of breathing room there. Southeast of Saline football brought to you today by Kansas Wesleyan University. Also Sage Products. It's the home field advantage. When we're at Southeast of Saline, you get Sage products from wall to wall, ceiling to floor. It's products from Sage. You can have your own products from Sage Products for your office or home, sageselects.com. Also, your shelter insurance agent on Ohio, right next door to me. We're neighbors. Kelly Kitchener, Shelter Insurance. Thanks to Kelly for supporting Southeast of Saline athletics all season long. From the 4, second down. 96 yards in front of the Thunder. Hike will take it off the right-hand side. Sidesteps a tackle by Gebhardt, and he's going to push it all the way out to the 10-yard line. Gain of 6 on that play from Carter Hike.
Yeah, and again, after the play, you're seeing a lot of head taps, just a lot of, mutual respect from both teams. One thing that we often, forget about, like, this is the last time, a lot of these dudes are going to be together. Like, they've grown up doing this together. they have 5 minutes left. Regardless of what happens in the last 5 minutes, like, this is a blast for these guys. State championship, it's memories and moments they'll never forget.
3rd and 1. They spotted him down at the 10. They need a yard here on 3rd down, and Carter Hike, it's going to be close. Coming in kind of behind the pile that time was Kenyon Douglas, but they're going to give him the first down. Gain of 1 on that play. And we talk about Southeast of Saline coming back here 2 years in a row. What a special feeling this was. Had a chance to go back-to-back here in this game. But Nemaha Central, I think a lot of people maybe forget, this is habit for them. This is 4 years in a row they've been here.
Yeah, 4 years in a row, and they're going to walk away with 3 state titles in those last 4 games. I mean, it's a wagon, and you see why.
First down and 10 now. Nemaha Central with the ball at the 12-yard line. Inside handoff. They'll go back to Seitz, and he will get no gain on the play. I go back just kind of recent history. We don't want to look back to caveman days, but I just remember going to Seneca in 2018. It was a playoff meeting, first round, between Southeast and a Nemaha Central team that was then led by head coach Warren Seitz, and Southeast got the victory that day. But I came away impressed with what was going on. Of course, you put Michael Gladik, now head coach there, in his 4th season in there, and it's just kind of the perfect mix of that area of the state, how they play football, how Michael Gladik wants to coach these kids, and they've done a really good job. I mean, that goes without saying. But just since that 2018 playoff meeting, I got curious of what the numbers look like because I know both programs have been very, very good. Since that 2018 playoff meeting, Southeast of Saline has compiled a 73-7 record. Nemaha Central has a 75-10 record. And you talk about sometimes teams go in the opposite directions. Both those teams came out of that day and went straight up. And that is just a crazy, crazy number when you see it on paper.
Yeah, it's unreal. And, we talk about the respect that this coaching staffs have. When you talk to the Southeast staff about Nemaha Central staff, like it brings a smile to their face. They speak so highly of Nemaha Central and everything they do, and that's what makes games like this a blast.
Here's a passing down. Hike wants to put it in the air. He has Strothman out to the 25, and Strothman did what he had to do to get that first down, and he'll keep the drive alive for Nemaha Central. Out to the 29-yard line. They got 17 on that play. Just the second pass thrown, and Carter Hike 2 for 2.
Carter Hike plays just like the old uncle that plays around with you on Thanksgiving Day, right? Like, he does just enough. Every once in a while, when maybe you think you got him, he's going to rattle one off for 70 just to kind of rub it in your face a little bit, but he throws the ball well enough, runs the ball extremely well. He always gets what he needs to get. He's been a treat to watch today.
Knows the football at the 25-yard line. He's going to take the snap, now dance off to the left-hand side. Southeast of Saline doing the best to bring him down, and he's going to make it out to the 33 on a gain of 8. His 27th carry of the day unofficially.
It's a light work day for him. We talked about him. He had, over 40 carries last week. 27? Easy for him.
Yep. Second down and 2 coming up. Clock continues to melt down here as we approach the 3-minute mark. I want to thank everybody helping us through the whole postseason. It's been a run. You play 13 games in a football season. You got to have people that are willing to help out, and we are so fortunate to have those people, all the sponsors helping us out here on KINA and also live stream video on SalinaPost.com. Second down and 2. Here's Hike straight up the middle. Just keeps the pile moving. To the 40, now to the 41. They're going to spot him right there at the 41-yard line. It's another gain of 8 for Carter Hike. Some of those sponsors I talk about, Salina Ortho, also Mary Maids, the Appliance Center, Stardust Trophies and more in downtown Salina, along with the Kniper Agency of Farmers Insurance, Frisbee Construction, Isaacson Truck Line, Smart Insurance, Phillips Seed Farms, Bank of Tesket, also Salina Regional Orthopedic and Sports Medicine, Suburban Appliance, of course, the Southeast of Saline Booster Club, and the Billings Group. See highlights of this game on the Salina Post Facebook page, brought to you by Billings Group, also on X with Salina Post. Here's Hike. He's going to take a loss here on this play, loses 2 yards on his 29th carry of the day.
Yeah, good job from Kenyon Douglas. Just seeing that, pursuing that play, making a nice tackle on him down low.
Kansas Bankers Technologies also helping sponsor Southeast of Saline football, along with technical consulting. Messenger Total Promotions, wherever we go, supporting the Trojans. We are wearing gear from Messenger Total Promotions in downtown Salina. Southeast of Saline Education Foundation, APAC Shears. Copyco, also a big part of our broadcast, along with Salina Surgical Hospital. Bank of Teskett, 1L Garrettson, Salina Homes, Everhart Precision Ag, Vernon Jewelers, Commercial Tire Center, along with New Image Audio and L&L Advisors. Tyler, you are fully aware of this statement I'm about to make, but I need to tell everybody we're going to turn around a short weekend on Tuesday. We have Southeast of Saline basketball coming your way. 2 road games to start the season, Tuesday at Smoky Valley, Friday at Heston, as hoops season already underway for the Trojans, starting on Tuesday, December 2nd. Carter Hike, left-hand side, about a 3-yard gain on that play.
Well, and you talk about the turnaround for these guys. I mean, there's how many of these football guys, are going to be relied on to play a basketball game on Tuesday, and it's just, again, it's just a tip of the cap to everything they do. I know that they have a walkthrough potentially tomorrow and just trying to get their bodies ready for the hardwood as opposed to the gridiron, and it's a tough scheduling conflict that the state of Kansas, it doesn't affect that many teams. You don't have that many teams playing in state championships, but for those teams, man, it's really tough. And especially with the seeding going on into the playoffs for basketball, like you got to hit the hardwood running. It's tough to do with limited practice time. I mean, 2 days max is what you're going to be able to get. And obviously the wear and tear on these bodies, it's tough, but tip of the cap to these young men that are able to do it.
It was a shielded question. If I was standing next to him, I probably would have done it around a corner, like around a pole. When I asked Francis Flax for his roster, I was expecting something like, what roster? Because he's been practicing without a good portion of his team. But they still got some guys, and they'll come out and they'll play well. I expect that out of Francis Flax, of course. Shauna Smith, the head coach of Southeast of Saline on the girls' side, they'll be ready to go on Tuesday as we go to Lindsborg to play the Smoky Valley Vikings. Out to the 50-yard line, Carter Hike. Big carry there. That's 7 yards on the play.
And it looks like Southeast's going to utilize that final timeout, playing until there's zeros on the clock. Wouldn't expect anything less from Coach Mitch Gephardt. And again, it goes back to you're utilizing every second that these guys get to play together. Again, can't take that for granted. These are moments. It's opportunities. You never know what's going to happen in the next minute 47. I'm not saying it's not going to change the result of the game, but something magical could happen for a player that they'll never forget. It's times like this that you always talk about giving opportunities to student athletes. You want to make sure you suck every second out of this.
And I'm sure that when you look at teams that are built to run the clock, you're looking at 2 of them right here on the field. I mean, that's why they're here, right? You get a lead, and then just getting the ball away from both of these teams when they're in this position is a tall task.
Well, what that does is it also means that you can play in any weather conditions, and that's what these teams are built for.
Here's a snap back. Carter Hike, he runs into a wall this time. Grady Gebhardt gets him down low, and then, boy, it just looked like a grenade went off in that pile. Everybody on their backs. These guys are gassed, all of them, on both sides. And Nemaha Central now beginning to ask their crowd to get into it a little bit. That carry by Carter Hike went ahead for about 3 yards.
When it's like Hike just body slammed himself to the ground, understanding he had the first down already, he was just taking himself to the ground. Tell you what, we talked about how he's been everything that's been advertised. He's been amazing, but it's the supporting cast from Nemaha Central that's really impressed me today. I mean, just at every single level, they've got absolute dudes. They understand their roles, and gosh darn, they've been fantastic today.
Maybe a victory formation here. Nemaha Central is going to take a knee as they are looking to run it out. 3 state championships in 4 seasons for Nemaha Central. And that is it's a ridiculous stat, honestly, when you look at it and what they've been able to do. Southeast of Saline, of course, this is the first time that they're going to lose a state title game. They were 2 for 2 in 05 and, of course, last year. And this is the first time that they're going to take a loss in the state title game. As Nemaha Central takes a snap, that will be the last time, as there is not enough time on the play clock for them to run another play. Looks like our final here from Hutchinson will be 35-6. Stay with us here in postgame. We will go over final stats for you and also have a Vernon Jewelers Gym of the Game. That's all coming up here. In postgame, it's brought to you by Commercial Tire Centers. Nemaha Central wins it 3 titles in 4 seasons. As Southeast of Saline is unable to repeat here, the Thunder win it 35-6. Commercial Tire Centers postgame report begins now here on KINA. Southeast wins! Southeast of Saline wins!
Trojan fans, it's not too late to get your 2024 state championship merch or to get custom gear to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the 2005 state championship team at CopyCo. In addition to great SES gear that you can wear all year round, CopyCo also offers custom printing so you can support any student athlete in any activity from football and basketball to choir and band. See them at 2346 Planet Avenue in Salina.
Hello, Trojan fans. It's 1L Garrettson with Salina Homes. What a year it has been. State champions in boys cross country, and here we are at the state game for football again. From the moment I arrived to teach school at Southeast in 1984, I knew our school and community had that championship DNA. Academics, the arts, technical programs, and sports. Southeast of Saline is a wonderful community to be a part of. No matter what your real estate season is, we can get together and have a championship moment. As always, buy or sell, call 1L.
Take the next step in your career with an MBA from Kansas Wesleyan and the Saline County MBA Scholarship. This opportunity is good for anyone living or working in Saline County and is valid for $100 off every MBA credit hour, lowering the total cost of the degree to around $12,000. Don't wait, the next session starts January 21st. Learn more today at kwu.edu/MBA. That's kwu.edu/MBA.
Life is loud, chaotic, hilarious, and occasionally peaceful. Your life fits you, so why settle for life insurance that fits someone else? At Shelter Insurance, our local agents help you design a personal protection plan backed by award-winning customer service. We're your shield. We're your shelter. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
For a free personal protection review, contact Shelter Agent Cale Sharp in Salina.
Cole, do you remember last Christmas at the Miller's house?
I'll always remember that day as the Christmas clog. 4 kids, 5 cousins, 2 grandparents, and somebody flushed a Christmas ornament.
Yeah, and they had matching pajamas.
And matching plungers.
Their septic tank hadn't been pumped out in over 6 years.
And they were making chili for 20.
That's when you transformed.
Flush! The freakishly fast frog!
Too much water, too much pressure, and Christmas joy was about to explode.
That's why we're telling folks now.
Get your septic tank inspected before Santa slides down your chimney.
And before Aunt Jan fires up her 7-layer bean dip.
At LilyPad Septic, we guarantee to inspect your system within 24 hours.
Or you get a free pump out worth $399.
If you need a flush in a rush, call LilyPad Septic.
LilyPad Septic!
Don't let your septic tank clog up your Christmas.
Call LilyPad Septic.
Time for the Trojan Postgame Show on KINA Sports. Stick around for the game recap, final stats, and reaction from the coach. This is Trojan Football on KINA.
Back here on the Commercial Tire Center's postgame report, 35-6. Our final score is Nemaha Central came out, and boy, Tyler, they just really took it to Southeast right out of the break. They opened the game with a kickoff return for a touchdown. Then Southeast of Saline 3 and out on offense. They had to punt. Another touchdown return by Nemaha Central. Both of those were from Caleb Strothman. Add into that 3 different fumbles here in this game. And Southeast of Saline, I think when you look at it at the end, Nemaha Central got their yardage there statistically, just kind of running out the clock. But other than that, this game, I think between the hashes, when you take out the turnovers and take out the special teams, Southeast of Saline dominated this game, but that's not what it's about. It's about the whole picture, and today Nemaha Central is able to put that all together.
Yeah, it's just those little plays. Again, we call them the 50-50 balls. They weren't that today. I mean, Nemaha Central won every single one of those. You know, the ball bounced. You can say it bounced their way, you know, whatever you want, but they created opportunities. You know, we talk about the turnovers, definitely forced turnovers. It was the defense that they were playing. You know, they're tackling with intent. You know, balls are, you know, the hands are going to slap balls. They're getting helmets on balls. They created those turnovers, and Southeast was never able to hit their stride. They did a great job bottling up Gebhardt. We say great job bottling up, ends up, you know, with unofficially 116, you know, on the ground. But it was just there wasn't that consistency that we've seen. You know, it came in spurts. It wasn't long drives, and it just made it really tough sled for the Southeast offense.
Talk about Southeast of Saline, man, this senior class, what a run they've had, right? I mean, you talk about a group of kids. And I don't want to say, well, I'm going to go ahead and say it. Like I've heard from Southeast of Saline throughout the years, this is the group, they're the chosen ones, right? You have some coaches' kids on there. You have a big group of kids that stuck together. They were so small when they started out playing football. It's like, hey, look out for these third graders. Look out for these seventh graders. You kind of hear that on down the line. And they came out and they proved it last year, getting the state title for Southeast of Saline. They're runners-up this year. You look at their cumulative record, though, of varsity football games when they are at Southeast of Saline, and I'm talking about the graduating senior class from freshman to senior, a cumulative varsity football record of 46-3.
And it just, you can't, that makes your head explode when you try thinking of that. And that results in 2 state championship games. It's a deep run in the playoffs. It's everything they've done, and we've talked about this throughout the season, but it's what these guys do inside of the school as well. I mean, you watch them walk around, just absolutely just dudes. I mean, they carry themselves the right way. And Coach Gart will always say that's the most important thing, is the men that he's helping to try to create. He always gives the credit to the community, because the community backing is always fantastic with all the extracurricular activities at Southeast of Saline. But, this is definitely a tough one to take, but you cannot overemphasize what this senior class has meant, again, not just to the football program, but to the entire community of Southeast.
Ends up, final numbers for you. Nemaha Central, 253 yards rushing on 45 carries. Southeast of Saline with 147 yards rushing. Passing, Southeast of Saline had the edge 110-21. They were 12 of 22 passing the football. Nemaha Central was 3 out of 4. Total offensive plays, Nemaha Central ran 10 less plays than Southeast of Saline. Yardage pretty close, though. Southeast of Saline ends up with 257 yards. Nemaha Central with 274 yards. The big ones, like I said, a 76-yard punt return and a big kick return of 84 yards. Also 3 fumbles that were all lost from Southeast of Saline. Not a lot of penalties in this game. We had 2 penalty flags the whole time. Nemaha Central goes through the whole game and doesn't get a penalty flag. Southeast of Saline only had 2, and they were back-to-back early on in this game. That put them 2 5-yarders that they took for early on in this game. So this was a clean game without a lot of flags. Third down conversion, Southeast of Saline 4 of 14, Nemaha Central 4 of 10. Fourth down conversion, Southeast still pretty good, 4 of 5. Nemaha Central went 2 of 2. Red zone chances, Southeast of Saline 1 of 2. They had that one trip where Bryson Lipple got shielded out of the end zone there late in the game, right at the pylon. Nemaha Central 2 of 2. In that aspect, first downs, both teams with 13 first downs and a 35-6 Nemaha Central victory. Carter Hike, if you're wondering about his numbers, 32 carries, 224 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He averaged 6.5 yards a carry. Jaden Seitz had a good game, 9 carries, 42 yards, and a touchdown for Seitz. For Southeast of Saline, Grady Gebhardt led the way, 25 carries. That's the most, tying the most carries he's had in a game this year, 125 yards. Tiernan Potachik, 7 carries, 19 yards. Kenyon Douglas, 2 carries, 13 yards. Potachik, 12 of 22 passing the football, 110 yards, had Southeast of Saline's only touchdown to Malachi Hopkins that went for 5 yards. Again, it comes down, got to play the complete game. We've seen Southeast of Saline on the other side of this so many times where they're making special teams plays, they're making defensive plays, getting turnovers. Today, though, that was Nemaha Central as they were able to manufacture 2 special team scores and 3 fumble recoveries out of the Trojans of Southeast of Saline. So Southeast of Saline, boy, what a magical run for these seniors, right? 46-3, their combined score in varsity football games at Southeast of Saline, and now all these players being greeted by the big showing of community support that showed up here today in Hutchinson. Our Vernon Jewelers gym of the game, I'm going to take all the seniors downtown Salina shopping. Vernon Jewelers, you want to go down there yourself, big discounts on Christmas, gifts starting at under $100 at Vernon Jewelers in Salina. Look for that iconic Vernon Jewelers sign on Santa Fe in downtown Salina. Fun football season, right? We're a little bummed out now, a little depressed now. It's going to be a long day. It's cloudy. It's cold. We don't want to do anything now, but basketball season's right around the corner, and we still got to appreciate walking out of a stadium with a 12-1 football team.
Yeah, without a doubt. And like you said, it's a bit sour right now, but what a ride. It's been an absolute blast. This has been, so much fun to join you in the booth on Friday nights and get to follow along with the ride that Coach Gebhardt, has created for us with all these guys. And you're exactly right. We're right back at this Tuesday night. Can't wait to get on the hardwood and, get some Trojan basketball.
So for the supporting cast and all of our sponsors, great sponsors as well, Abilene Termite and Pest Control, Isaacson Truck Line, Bennington State Bank, Paul MacArthur Ford, also Kelly Kitchener, Shelter Insurance, Sharp Performance, Want to remember their Athlete Academy is the number one program for all athletes, 7th through 12th grade, no matter what sport, and open to boys and girls. Their staff has firsthand experience in college and professional training. It's the Athlete Academy, open to boys and girls, 7th through 12th grade. Also, the Football Academy is beginning soon as well. If you want to turn the corner and get ready for next season already, the Football Academy at Sharp Performance is one of a kind. Also, Kansas Wesleyan, Sage Products, Aeroplanes, Housing Development, and Kale Sharp Shelter Insurance. Jeff Wells, Salina Fence Company, as well as Assyria Oil and Hardware, and Lily Pad Septic Service and Portable Restrooms. Many, many more. We will rely on them as well when basketball season starts. That's coming up after a short weekend. On Tuesday, we'll make the trip to Lindsborg to tangle with Smoky Valley. Pregame at 5:45, tip-off at 6 o'clock. Back at the studio for Chris Cadle, Nick Garst up on the booth providing live stream video. Brian Dennett, want to thank him. Buy him a hot chocolate next time you see him. He's probably going to need it after this one. In the booth, Tyler Smith. My name is Devin Haney saying thank you for joining me for Southeast of Saline Trojan football all season long. Today, the Trojans on the short end of the stick as Nemaha Central gets another state title, 35-6 over Southeast of Saline, and you heard it right here on KINA.